And good evening and welcome to the 57th Annual Missouri State Boys High School Soccer Championships. One final championship to be decided here in 2024. And oh boy, we've got a good one on tap for you here tonight. Two of the traditional powers in the state of Missouri. It's the Smet Jesuit Spartans coming into this one at 21-3-1, and they get set to take on their longtime rival and fellow Jesuit school, the St. Louis University High School Junior Billikens, who come into this one 17-6-3 to Smet on top, on the back of a 3-1 victory last night over the defending three-time state title holders, the Rockhurst Hawklets, also a Jesuit school from the other side of the state in Kansas City. They get to the championship game through that road. St. Louis U High, a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Liberty North last night. That propels them here to the championship game, and these two longtime rival schools get set to do battle for the second time in the state championship match. Last time was way back in 1995. No, folks, I was not in high school. I was already gone by that point. That's how old I am. But nonetheless, the Smet came out on top in that one, 1-0 over St. Louis U High, as both of these two teams get ready to take the field. This should be a good one, and as they do, let me bring it. My name is Matt Judkins, first of all, let me tell you that, but let me bring in my partner for this one, Tanner Hutchinson. And Tanner, what a great matchup we've got here. It's been a great week of soccer all the way around. All the titles will stay in the eastern part of the state, in the St. Louis area, because so far we've had Valley Park win, Clayton win, and then just in the previous match before this one, Ladue win. That's Class 1, 2, and 3 respectively, and one of these two teams will win Class 4.
Yeah, this will be a very fun matchup here today, because when you look at these two teams on paper, very similar in goals per game, goals allowed per game, and these teams have played already as well. This is the third time they will meet this season. Smet has the advantage. They won the first matchup 4-0, won the other one then 2-0. So we'll see if SLUH High is able to make adjustments. They're already 0-2 against this side, but we'll see what they have in store, because we saw in the last one, we mentioned it, in Class 3, Vianney had beaten Ladue in the regular season matchup 4-1. They got shocked. Ladue came back, beat them 3-0. We'll see if SLUH is able to right the ship. Third time's the charm, they say, partner. We'll see if that's what it is for SLUH here
Well, we'll
tonight.
see. And, of course, we wouldn't be sportscasters if we couldn't use old adages, right? So we'll use the old adage, very tough to beat a team three times in one season. And so we'll look at this in St. Louis U High. In their losses this season, those 6 losses, they've only lost 2 games by more than 1 goal, both times to the Smet Spartans. And as both of these two teams walk out along with the officials onto the pitch here this evening, we're going to get the starting lineups. We'll get the officials for you. And as they warm up here in just a moment, we're going to take a break. But before we do, let me set the stage for you here a little bit. We are at Hunter Stadium, Lindenwood University. So some of you might be tuning in from around the country, and for that matter, from around the world. What happened to the soccer park? Soccer park, Fenton, Missouri, underwater this year. And Smet used the phrase and the motto all year long, get to the park. Well, get to the stadium is what they had to change it into a week and a half ago through some flooding in the St. Louis area. But we are here about 45 degrees and clear skies, a little bit of smoke in the background, just some barbecue, folks. We're going to turn it over to the PA announcer. But before we do, we'll take a break. We'll be back with championship action in just a few moments.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet tonight's participants. First, the Spartans of the Smet Jesuit coming into tonight's game with a record of 21-3. assisted by Nick Hansen, Ryan Hines, Rob Hutchinson, Pat Littleton, John Roy, Jim Salee, Steven Seitel, and Ben Yeager. Now the start for the Spartans. In goal number 1, Jackson P. Number 2, Evan Mortner. Number 3, Anthony Young. Number 5, Smith. Number 7, Dominique Nicoletti. Number 8, Brady Klein. Number 9, Jack Saladin. Number 10, Landon Weber. Number 11, Sean Sosu. Number 16, Gavin Weber. And number 17, Zach Costello. Now for the junior Billikens of SLUH coming to tonight's game with a record of 17-6-3. The junior Billikens are coached by Bob O'Connell and assisted by Robbie Paul, Tom Champion, Sam Glass, Chris Kinney, Rock Rose, Brock Kesperson, and Jay Zaber. The starters for the junior Billikens are in goal number 1, Joel Chambers. Number 2, Andrew Chalmers. Number 5, Dick Hammond. Number 7, Andrew Wolf. Number 10, Henry Sanders. Number 14, Bobby Behill. Number 17, Carson Hall. Number 18, Bubba Berry. Number 19, Patty Burns. Number 20, John Hazemeyer. And number 23, Will Duncan.
Well, those are the starters right here for the contest. Official for tonight's contest, Nicholas Rosa in the middle of the park, Dirk Lawson and Luke Swarz on the outside, and then on the scores table at the far side, Brad Meister. Those are our 4 officials. They've been selected because of the great work that they've done throughout the season, and they will do a great job tonight, I'm sure, as the officials have all throughout these contests this week in the 57th Annual Missouri State Boys Soccer Championship. Partner, both teams out on the pitch. The Smet, they're going to get over into their huddle one last time. They are led by 9 seniors in the starting lineup and just 2 juniors, maybe the most senior-laden squad we've seen at these state championships in quite some time. But Josh Klein loaded up this year, 16 total on the roster, and he's going to go on the back of those seniors to try and get that title for the Smet and see if he can't get a second one under his belt as head coach.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier on in the Class 4 third-place game. Look, the teams that are in the Final Four here, they're a little bit younger than the Smet. This is kind of the all-in year, if you will, for them. So they're going to be out here tonight. They are 1 win away. That 22nd win of the season will be the sweetest one of them all if they find a way to get to it. You know those seniors will be hungry. We'll see if they get off to a fast start here tonight against SLUH.
Because SLUH does have a number of seniors in the lineup, but they've also got a number of young players. They boast 3 sophomores in the starting lineup, including their big-time goalkeeper, Cole Chambers. He was huge last night, getting the clean sheet, over 1,200 minutes. And they've also got a freshman starting on the outside back position in Jernigan. He's a good one. So not quite as veteran of a squad for St. Louis U High.
Yeah, and we'll see if that matters tonight, if maybe that experience is something that will be a factor in this one. But we'll see if they can settle into their game. You know, we've talked about it. These teams, we talked about in the last broadcast as well. Who can get to their game first? That's what's so key here. And if you're SLUH High, you've lost to this team twice already. If you allow that first goal, you can't have that head dip moment. But maybe you set the tone here, get off to a fast start, see if they can strike first.
The Smet moving from left to right on your screen there. They'll be in their all-white strip. Maroon numerals and trim, St. Louis U High, and they're all navy blue strip, and they've got the white numerals and trim. Let me bring in kind of our third partner. Absent from the booth this year is legendary longtime head coach Terry Mickler, but you know he's done these state championship matches with me a number of times. He sent in some analysis prior to this one. He is very familiar with both of these two teams, having played the Smet 3 times and St. Louis U High twice, and he says, well, for the Smet, they got to come down after that big win last night because they had to take it to Rockhurst, the 3-time defending state champion, and make sure that they're ready to play here this evening. And we're going to get a little push and a shove. Referee's going to separate this one and say we're not going to have any more of that one. A couple of players get together. But he knows that SLUH will be motivated, and SLUH must stay in the game. Smet is very experienced. He expects them to come back down and be ready to play. SLUH's got to stay in it, and when they get the opportunities, they've got to convert. If they can't do that, partner, it's going to be a long night for them, definitely. Smet has the goal scorers as well. They put up 3 last night against the 3-time defending state champion, who in Rockhurst was only allowing a half a goal a game.
Yeah, it's going to be key. I mean, that mentioned there, you got to finish when you get those opportunities. They're probably going to come far and few between. So when you get that opportunity, you just got to finish. And that's all it takes. It just takes one opportunity to potentially give you the state championship.
Well, one remnant from last night I think we're going to watch just a little bit late in that game against Rockhurst, the number 10 shirt for Smet. Their captain, Landon Weber, he scored one of the goals on a penalty kick last night. 19 goals on the season, but he took a little bit of a knock. He was hobbled, had to come off. Sat the bench the rest of the way just with a few minutes left in that one. And so we'll see if that plays out. He looks to be moving very well. He's got the ball at his feet right now, and he is a player that they need to have on the field at all times. He can make everything go. Big presence there. He wears the number 10 shirt for a reason, and he will be their man that they try and go through offensively. Good run now on the outside. Here's an opportunity for Sosu. It's knocked away from him. We'll see, did they award the corner kick there for Smet there on that one. Looks like that's exactly what happened, so that'll be a big play here. And longtime rivals, of course, most of these young men play club against each other. They grow up, they go to elementary school together, and all these different factors that go into it. Some of them are even relatives for that matter, and here we go right now. It'll be on the far side. Saladin, he's wearing that black ski mask, easy to pick out on the pitch. He'll swing this one in, and the goalkeeper right there to pick that up. 6'1" sophomore, Cole Chambers. Both goalkeepers listed at 6'1". Chambers is actually taller than Keys as they stood kind of close to each other. So we talked about in our earlier broadcast, these young men get those heights taken at the beginning in preseason, and they're teenagers. They could be growing at very fast rates. I think he's a little bit taller than 6'1" right now. Both of these teams, though, have good goalkeeping presence, and they've got good center back presence as well. We'll talk about them as we go throughout the broadcast. Saladin now wins this one, gets it to Klein. Klein assisted on the 2 goals from the run of play last night. He was a catalyst for them. Great passer of the ball and always active. 8 goals and 11 assists on the season for that young man. He's got it in the middle of the park right now. St. Louis U High wins that one. Let's talk a little bit about the lineups, partner. Both these two teams use a 4-3-3, kind of a flat back formation, and they are very good defensively.
Yeah, both very good. Both allowing right at that kind of 1 goal against per game so far this season, and that'll be key here tonight. I expect this to be a defensive battle between these two sides. It's going to come down to, can you limit space, and do you take advantage of your opportunities if you get them?
Well, that's what Klein's good at right there. He passes the ball very well on the floor, and that time he gave it to Weber. 2 Weber brothers wear 10 and 16 respectively. They are catalyst for this team. Their other midfielders, the number 17 shirt for Smet, that's Costello. So let's talk a little bit about Smet. First of all, their goalkeeper, over 1,900 minutes on the season, 10 clean sheets for him. One of their leaders, Jackson Keys, the 6'1" senior. He is one of those 9 seniors. And then all seniors across the back line. On the outside, it's Mortimer and Nicoletti, both of them very solid, 5'11" and 5'10" respectively. But in the middle, maybe one of the toughest and maybe one of the better central defending duos that I've seen in all my 2 decades plus covering championship soccer, and Anthony Young and in Brady Smith. And Coach Klein calls Smith maybe the best on-ball defender he's ever had, and that's saying a lot when it comes to a program like Smet. But both those 2 young men grew up together, known them for a long time personally, and their families. They come from great families, great soccer families as well. And again, quite a compliment for Smith, one of the captains for Smet. Also, he doubles as one of the football kickers, so part-time. Of course, Smet won earlier today against Rockbridge, so they will advance to the state semifinals. Long ball now, and there's Young knocking it away. St. Louis U High with one of those opportunities. There's another one. Double shot, but both of those blocked by that strong defense, and Sosu's going to come all the way back to the corner to get that one. We talked about the 3 in the midfielder, Gavin Weber and Zach Costello. They are the 2 juniors on this squad. They were the two that teamed up to get the game-winning goal in the quarterfinals against Lindbergh. And then, of course, right in front of them, the attacker and their all-world everything, Landon Weber. Both the Webers came back from the academy to play for Coach Klein, and what a great gift that is. It's kind of like they always say in professional sports, well, we don't need to make a trade because when we get all these players back from injury, we're going to have the team we want. Well, they got all those players back from the academy. Now, here's St. Louis U High on the attack here to the left side of the box. Here's a shot, once again blocked. Again, and here's the goal scorer from yesterday. That's Sanders. Can't get his shot off, but he'll keep possession. Right side of the box now, Junior Bills, and they'll look to build it right back up. This one will skid along the turf, and this will go to the Smet goalkeeper, Keys. And then to Smet along that front line, it's Sean Sosu. 5 goals, 7 assists on the season, the 6'1 senior. On the other side, Braden Klein, number 8. We mentioned him, 2 assists last night. And then Jack Saladin, he got the opening tally on a great take, a one-time shot past the keeper. And his coach lovingly calls him a pest. He knows that the other team just does not like dealing with him. He is very good defensively as an offensive player. He'll track a lot of things down and be right in their business the whole time.
Well, and you mentioned to Smet those one-timers that helped them out yesterday. You said that was tough sledding for Rockers. Had a tough time defending those. Those are tough to defend, especially if you're center backs and if you're getting those balls where you cross them back towards the back part of the 18-yard box. So we'll see how SLUH defends that. I wouldn't be surprised if Smet tries a couple of those if they can find them tonight.
Smet wanted a quick restart there. Referee told them, let's slow it down a little bit here, but get people in position. He was not in position either, so nice job for him. And again, Rosa, the referee, he has been awarded this game based on all of the great matches that he's handled this season. Now we get a little contact on the far side. This will be a foul to go the way of the Junior Bills, and let's talk about them. We talked about their goalkeeper, the sophomore Cole Chambers, third goalkeeper in these 2 championship matches. We saw it with Vianney earlier, as well as Adu, also a baseball player. And when I talk to some of my baseball friends in the know, they know all 3 of those goalkeepers, but they say Chambers might be the best baseball player in the state. Again, that's just conjecture. I'm not really sure. I'm not a baseball expert. That's just what I hear from my folks, but that means a lot. And again, he already showed his quality in the box, commanding it earlier on that first cross. So he's just a 6'1 sophomore, over 1,200 minutes for that young man. SLUH also plays 4 across the back. The freshman Will Jernigan on the left side. On the right side is Andrew Chambers. In the middle, Nicholas Hammond and Carson Hall. Hammond is one of the captains. He's an all-academic performer as well. And he will go to Wash U next year to play ball and continue his career. This one out of play. This will go to the St. Louis U High Junior Bills. In the middle will be Bubba Berry. He wears the 18 shirt. Number 19 is Patty Byrne. And then number 10, the goal scorer from last night, one of the captains as well, Henry Sanders. 7 goals, 5 assists on the season for Henry. Expect Henry to be around the ball a lot. And you'll see Bubba also distributing with Byrne, maybe just a little bit playing off, and likes to kind of distribute coming up the side. As St. Louis U High now breaks out on that right side. A little bit of space now. Good overlapping run. Let's see if the weight on that pass keeps it in play. It does. This one along the floor, and Smith is right there to knock it away. But one of the things you like about Smith as you watch him along that defensive back line, he's never out of position, and he's very poised anytime around the ball, and he's got a big leg as well. That's one of the reasons why he doubles as a kicker on the football field. Now, what a great play there from the back line for St. Louis U High. That was Hammond. Well, you can't be an all-academic player and not be smart. He waited for the opportune time, and he took that right off the foot of Saladin that time.
Yeah, great soccer IQ there on that challenge, because that was in the box as well. So you got to be careful when you're going down there. Don't want to give Smet a free opportunity with a penalty kick. But both sides, we've already seen it here early on, playing very sound defensively.
John Hassemeyer and Andrew Wolf will partner around the front runner, Javi Veal. Javi has 10 goals and 2 assists on the season. His dad played at St. Louis U High way back in 98 and 99, then went on to Truman State and played soccer there, was on their quarterfinal team, should say. And they lost just 1 match that season. My alma mater, both my alma maters for that matter, St. Louis U High and Truman State. St. Louis U High was still St. Louis U High when I was there, but Truman State was Northeast Missouri State, so a little bit difference there nonetheless. Here's the Smet on the build-up now. This is how they did it yesterday against Rockers. A lot of times attacking from the outside, and then they would slot the ball through. Very adept at making those runs and then making that pinpoint pass, partner, to get it through past that backside of the defense. And
I thought they were going to try for that there, because Landon Weber's the one who played that into the middle. Then the moment he passed it, he took off, was wanting the give and go, but wasn't on the same mindset with his teammate there.
Sosu makes the run down that left side. He's knocked off the ball. The referee says play on. Junior Bills bomb it out of there, and DeSmet easily collects it. This is Young. He'll look things over. Everything's in front of him right now. Of course, Young and Smith wear the 3 and 5 shirts. I mentioned know them young men for a long time. They played indoor soccer with my son for quite some time. Brady's older brother Carson is a year older. He was on the DeSmet squad last year, graduated, but he and my son were grade school classmates, and they had a very, very good indoor team back in the day, the Dragons, that Anthony and Brady played up. Always good to see those guys, and it was funny. You and I talked off the air. Whatever happens to people that you don't see for a while, or you wonder what happened to them. Well, we followed those two for a long time. We knew they were going to be good players, and right now they are the anchors on the defense for DeSmet. And we'll give a shout-out to their parents here. I'm sure they're probably in the crowd this evening, but if you're around, Smith family, they have siblings that are off at the college level and have already graduated high school and whatnot. Could be watching from around other parts of the country, so hello to them. And St. Louis U High now with the throwing on that far side. SLUH getting a good run of play on the offense, maybe a little bit better, I think, than they did last night. I think they're controlling the ball a little bit more, and as Coach Mickler imparted on us, he said they're going to have to take those opportunities, but they're also going to have to create some as well. They can't just lay back and hope you're going to get a quick counterattack. We've seen that in these state championships before where one team might get dominated by another. And if you look at it on paper, and you see DeSmet having won those two matches earlier this season, 4-0 and 2-0, and you say, well, maybe they're going to dominate. Maybe they're going to get all the shots, and St. Louis U High is just going to have to try one lucky counterattack. I don't think that's the issue here tonight. SLUH's going to come at them, and they're not going to go away.
Yeah, and you mentioned take advantage of your opportunities. We saw that on a couple balls earlier.
Here into the side of the box for DeSmet on the run, full stretch. It's Nicoletti. So he's happy because he wins the corner kick now, and DeSmet with a great opportunity. They're going to bring some players forward. This is where a player like Smith can get on the back of end of one. He's great in the air. We're going to see him go to the far side. And also look for a player like Sosu.
Smith listed as the biggest player on the roster. They'll be trying to target him in the air there.
It's their second corner kick. We also have seen DeSmet a number of times yesterday take the short corner. This one will go to the back stick. They try to get it to Smith. He's knocked off the ball far side. St. Louis U High will go and track it down. That's try and push it all the way back up to midfield. That was Kazan. He came in last night. He wears a 25 shirt, plays primarily a forward. He was all the way back defending last time. He is one of their taller players. That's why. Gabriel came in. He's 5'10". He might be a little taller than that right now, but he was guarding Smith on that last play. Now here's a square ball for the Junior Bills. They've got the attack coming right now. Good pass back across the face of the defense, and we're going to get a foul now. Very dangerous opportunity. 17, 18 yards from the goal to the side. And
see the replay of this foul here. And Wolf got just around that edge there when he got taken down. That's where the SLUH's been having some success here in the first 12 to 14 minutes is on that right side, far side of your screen. They've been being able to build the attack out wide there. They've had a couple opportunities to swing the ball in, and now they get a free kick because of it.
Well, just like you talked about in that Vianney-Ladue matchup in Class 3, you said, you know what, Ladue had a chance to go back and watch that film from when Vianney beat them 4-1 earlier this year. You know the SLUH coaches have done that, albeit a short turnaround here. And Ladue came out with a completely different game plan. This one swings into the box. Weber's got it. He's going to scissor kick it all the way back out towards midfield. Tries to get it to Saladin, and he tracks it down nicely. Good play by Jack there. Now the through balls. They try to get it back to him. He's got the pace to run past the defender. Chops it. Not going to be a foul, I don't think, on that one. I think it's just going to be out of play, and that's exactly what it will be. It'll be a goal kick. 50-50 ball that time. Defender got there first, went to ground on the slide, knocked it off of Saladin, out of play. Jack not complaining either. He's like, okay. But just know I'm coming, because he was coming quick that time.
Yeah, good job backtracking. We've seen that a couple times now early on. The center backs for SLUH High doing a good job backtracking if a player is ahead of them and then timing their slide tackle very well. This time they end up getting that goal kick because of it. But, again, you're going to have to be sound defensively if you're going to beat DeSmet. You don't want to get into a shootout with them.
No kind of game that gets you off of your game plan. The longer SLUH can hang around, the longer they can execute their game plan, which is to try and play possession. But hopefully we'll get a chance. You can see more of the crowd. That far side really filling in with Maroon, with the different color blues, and the grandstand here on the near side completely packed. This is the type of crowd we'd expect from this battle. These two longtime rivals. Again, you got to go all the way back to 1995. St. Louis U High and DeSmet in the championship match, and Coach Vitello wins that one 1-0 to capture the championship. One of the 6 for the DeSmet Spartans. That was their 3rd overall. And at the time, that gave them the lead over SLUH. SLUH went on to get a 3rd one, but DeSmet now, they have 6 titles to their credit, looking for their 7th. Junior Bills looking for their 4th. And DeSmet really, they've only ever had 2 coaches, Coach Vitello and now Coach Klein. St. Louis U High, they are on their 3rd now. Legendary coach Ebby Dunn for him. He won the first 2 SLUH titles, and then Charlie Martell before Coach O'Connell took over for him. Both of these 2 teams have big coaching staffs as well, doing everything they can to tutor their players, coach them up, get them ready to go. They have goalkeeping coaches, set piece coaches, all those things. We'll get into some of those talking points as we go on here, but they do everything they can to put their teams in the best position to win.
And as they should. I mean, you mentioned it takes a village to get to this point for either of these sides to go for a chance to capture the state championship.
Here's Sosu here on the near right side in the corner. He'll use his left foot right into the teeth of the defender. One right back, Nicoletti to Sosu. Back out here to Costello, and Coach Mickler in his analysis for DeSmet said Costello might be the one player that nobody thinks that much about, but he also might be their best player overall, and he said he's sneaky. And then, of course, Coach Klein also talked about, now we'll get a foul late. This one's going to go against Nicoletti. Fans holler about that one. It kind of happened after the ball went away from Nicoletti, and then the 2 players got tangled up. Referee's going to bring it all the way back here. Dangerous position now for a restart. Let's see what St. Louis U High wants to do, but foul was a little bit late. He blew the whistle. You see that big crowd over there on the far side. Huge student sections on tap here for this one from both contingents. And now Hammond's going to look things over, this 6'3 senior, whoever's going to come in front him. And now we got a couple players tangled up a little bit. And he's going to go back and talk to Nicoletti. Nicoletti's the one that just committed the foul, and he's going to say, hey, you got to keep your arms down. Junior Bills with 5 to the opposite side of the box. One man just removed. And he'll launch this one into the 12. Keeper's right there. Easy one for the veteran goalkeeper, Jackson Keys, the 6'1 senior. Again, he's gone over 1,900 minutes on the season. 10 clean sheets, and he's done that in maybe the toughest high school soccer conference in the country.
Yeah, very impressive season for Keys, and we'll see if he's going to be a guy that can get one more clean sheet to try and get DeSmet their championship. You know, he's going to be ready if they're going to test him on SLUH High's tried that early on, but the defensive blocked a couple of shots.
DeSmet on the attack now. This is Saladin. He'll track it down. He'll play it all the way back. This is Mortimer. Back to Smith. And he'll play it across to his defensive partner there, Nicoletti. Good build-up here. Sosu has switched sides. He started off primarily on the left side. Now he's on the right, using his speed to work his way into the box. Knocked off the ball all the way back to midfield. Young, nice and steadily, pushes it back to midfield and wins it right back. Good defense and good anticipation from the number 3 shirt for DeSmet, Anthony Young. 1 goal, 1 assist on the season for the 5'10 senior.
You know, here in the early going, DeSmet's had more of the possession, but they really haven't generated anything from it just yet.
Ball on the far side now, tries to work his way into the box. This will drift and go out of play, and this will result in a goal kick. So Cole Chambers will take his time. We are not quite 19 minutes here into this first half, and we talked about it earlier, partner. When we hit about this point in the first half of the Class 3 championship, we thought, oh boy, that first 20 minutes went by pretty quick. It's done the same thing here in this one as well.
Yeah, it has. It's been really good quality so far. Again, I don't have an official shot so far in this one. SLUH's had a couple that got blocked, so we'll see if the scorers give them credit for that. But it's been very good defensive battles right now. And SLUH, as I said, hasn't had much possession, but nice ball played ahead here.
Yeah, Wolf just checked back into the match. They try to unleash him down that right side. DeSmet guides that one over the sideline easily. That's a good play by Mortimer to relieve some of the tension, because he had Wolf running right up his backside that time, and he was doing it with speed. So that's what a good, solid, strong veteran defense will do. They know when to keep it in play, and they know when to say, let's pull the plug, relieve the pressure, let's get back and get our shape. Opportunity now for the Junior Bills. Shot along the turf. Can't get through. And once again, look at the Spartan defense. 7 players back inside the box that time. And we've seen St. Louis U High with a number of opportunities to shoot, and they've all been blocked by the defense.
Yeah, and it's interesting. SLUH's taking those shots right now, right? They don't want to settle it at that midfield spot there. They want to try and pepper the goalie right now. They're trying to see if they can get that quick strike here early on. But you're spot on. Smet very good defensively, really packing it in on those opportunities. We've seen 3 or 4 of those long shot opportunities from outside the 18. None of them have gotten through so far.
I think it's great. One of the things you look for in a championship match like this, partner, is sometimes who's ready to play and who's not. I think right now what I'm looking at, both teams ready to play tonight. No team looking a half a step slow. No team with a hangover from a big semifinal victory. No team not understanding what their tactics need to be. Both well coached. Again, you got a good mix of seniors and underclassmen for St. Louis U High, and, of course, the veteran team in Smet. I think they're going to pretty much know what they're going to do every day when they wake up from August until all the way to November, and that's what helped them get to here for sure.
Yeah, and I'm sure head coach O'Connell was telling his SLUH High junior Billikens, hey, we've got to try and get off to a fast start here. We cannot let Smet dictate the tempo of this game, and SLUH High's gotten off to that good start here. They haven't been caught off guard.
This one flicked on here once again. Junior Bills into the box, trying to keep the pressure on. Good play by Smith to knock it away, and that's just good, solid defending all the way through. It is knocked out of play. Junior Bills will get the throw in there, but once again, as solid as they come. The number 5 shirt, 6'1", good physical presence back there for the Spartans, and he continues to be the anchor for that defense. Throwing now for the Junior Bills, side of the box, still with the opportunity, but here's Weber. Weber will look things over, play it to Saddlein. He'll play a square ball right to Sosu. Well, they knew exactly where they're going to be the whole time, and that is the product of a very veteran team. When you got 9 seniors and you played together for so long, you just know what's going to happen. And what a great run now by Sosu, but he gets knocked off of the ball. Good play coming across to make that one was Hammond. Again, WashU will get a good one when they get him next year as this ball drifts towards the sideline. Good play there to hold it in. Costello. And again, we talked about him. He does a lot of those little things that sometimes don't get noticed. They won't be on a stat sheet, and he's underrated as a player sometimes because of that. Good settle out here on the near side for the Junior Bills. This is Javi. He'll play it back. He has not been in the run of a lot of play, but he requires a lot of attention, does the 14 shirt. He plays striker for St. Louis U High. We see him drift out wide here now as they've had Kazan enter the lineup. And Kazan is more of a target forward. He's a little bit taller, so he's going to push up to that striker-type position. That allows Javi to run off of him.
Yeah, that's what they've been trying to do when they swing it out wide, is try and get it out wide and then target him inside the box. Oh, good ball movement here.
Great ball. Saladin, touch was just a little bit too for him, but it's intercepted there. Here's Costello once again on the attack, and Smet now all of a sudden putting some pressure on in the last minute or so.
See a sub coming on for Smet now. I believe this is the first one they've made today.
You know, you would think with the seniors and this level of talent on the team, you would think they'd committed. None of these players have committed to college yet, according to Coach Klein, but almost every one of these seniors, given the talent, they could play there if they want. Some of them are definitely going to play in college. They just haven't committed yet so far. So KJ Tayimba, he checks in here. He was the scorer of the winning tally last night. He makes the run now into the center of the box, but it's going to go wide of the target. And so the Smet now will get their 3rd corner kick of this first half unofficially, and they're just dangerous enough. They're going to play their game. They're not going to get rattled. They got tremendous poise, and then all of a sudden, if you let off the gas, if you lose your focus for a moment, they're going to be right there to pounce on it. Now they've started to move that ball offensively a little further up. They get the opportunity on the set piece.
And if you're SLUH, got to be the first one to this. Cannot let this ball kind of pinball around.
Yeah, be decisive in your movement. They were able to get that one out of there, but not out of danger. Here's Costello. He'll lay it off. Boy, he wanted to go that time to Young, who was forward, and to Smith. They were both coming back to the ball.
Yeah, wouldn't mind maybe a shot there. You know, you had your momentum going forward. You had your teammates coming, running back towards you, losing that momentum.
This one up over the top. St. Louis U High now on the stretch here. Run. Can't track it down that time. Javi again. He's got good speed. Just a sophomore at 5'8". He's got to be accounted for at all times. And
you know, Smet, they're going to really try and clamp down on him defensively, make sure that he's not the guy that beats them. You know, they want the other pieces on this SLUH team, somebody to step up to beat them if they're going to not capture this championship tonight.
Well, the big thing St. Louis U High's got to guard against, too, is giving up that first goal.
Yeah.
Right? And the longer they stay in the game, the more opportunity they've got. But as Coach Mickler indicated last night, and I shared it on the broadcast, once Smet gets that first goal, they go into lockdown mode. And when you've got a senior veteran backfield like they do, it's going to be awfully tough to unlock them. And you think about St. Louis U High now, this is their third game. They still have not scored on them yet. So you got to keep it close if you're Junior Bills. And if you're Smet, you know how much value there will be in that first goal.
And if you're SLUH High, you don't want that kind of shoulder-dipping moment, right? I mean, you mentioned they haven't scored against them yet. First goal might be the one where if you're SLUH High, that may say, oh, man, here we go again. Don't want that moment to happen if you're the Junior Billikens.
Well, Landon Weber just went to the bench, get some instructions from the coaches real quick. I don't think he's very happy about being over there. He wants to get right back in the match. Of course, he is a captain, and really he's looked to as the leader of the seniors. And quickly he goes to the end of the bench. He's itching to get back in there, and it probably isn't going to be a long time before you see the number 10 shirt.
He's been effective here, too, early on. It doesn't have the volume stats in terms of shots or shots on goal, but he's been very creative when he's had the ball on his foot.
Young pushes that one forward. He wanted a foul. Probably could have gotten a foul, but they did retain possession. Might be better have it this far in the offensive end as Klein gets set for this throw in, the 5'11 senior. This one deflected now to Smet with a golden opportunity into the forward end of things. Left-footed cross. This one deflects off a defender, but Klein's right there. Puts it on the floor. Here it is. Tyimba can't get it across St. Louis U High now. And Saunders will get it all the way back to midfield. But they're knocked off the ball. Here come the Spartans in waves once again. And this is how they like to do it, in waves. As their coach says, we'll defend in waves, and we will also come at you in waves. Now it's Saladin, tries to settle down. Junior Bill's defense right there. Now they're just going to play a long ball. They're going to pull the plug on the pressure just a little bit. Smith will come back to get it.
And this is kind of what we saw in our Class 3 game, right, in the final, where it was one side. Now you got to Smet here, where they're applying that pressure. So what happens when you're SLUH High? You start to get a little anxious with it. You don't hold possession. You just kick it back and just allow to Smet to get right back on that attack again. That's where you start to really see teams get hemmed in on their own end of the field. And right now you're kind of seeing that from SLUH.
Yeah, look at the last few minutes. Most of it played on the offensive end for DeSmet or the defensive end for St. Louis U High, depending on who you're rooting for and which way you look at the flow of the match. St. Louis U High with a substitution back in is Kazen's going to go back to the bench. I believe that's Byrne checking back into the lineup. Patty, sophomore, 5'9", 7 goals, no assists on the season, 14 total points for that young man. And SLUH now will have a throw in here on this near side. This is Young. Good little step over move. He's going to square ball to Smith. Those two always know where the other one's at. One more square ball to the far side. This is Mortimer. Evan looks it over, goes forward. Tyimba knocked off the ball, but I believe he's going to win the throw-in, and he does there right near the St. Louis U High bench. Smet with a couple of substitutions into the match. Weber coming back in, as is Sosu. Saladin will get a breather.
So this right here will be a couple, we talk about the theory of first 5 minutes, last 5 minutes are the most intense. We've got 11 and a half, but critical first 5 minutes now that Weber's back into the game. See what adjustments he was given by the coaching staff.
Yeah, and a little bit of a breather, too, some fresher legs. This one into the center of the box, knocked out of there. Sanders pushes it back towards midfield. U High only with one player out there. That's Javi, and he makes a nice little move. And now on the overlapping run, Junior Bills, they relieve the pressure that way. Let's see if they can hold possession. They do win a throw-in on that far side. Good play coming across to make that play was McManus. He had a good run out last night. He played significant minutes for DeSmet. Wears the 12 shirt. Stepped right in front of that one. Slowed the pace of the U High attack. And now here come the Junior Bills once again. A lot of space out here on this side if they decide to go to Jernigan, the freshman. But instead they're going to go all the way back to the young sophomore goalkeeper. This is Chambers.
SLUH, every time they try to go on the attack partner, they're going back to that far side. That's exactly where they've gone. Every time they've had possession of it, that's where they want to go with it.
Clearly they have said, well, if we got to attack one of the two, we're going to attack Mortimer instead of Nicoletti, and we know we're not going to try and go through the middle because that's where Smith and Young are at. So that is a strategy, and they've so far been able to stick to it. Battle for the ball. This one will go out of play over the end line. This will result in the first corner kick now unofficially for St. Louis U High. We'll see how they want to play this one. Henry Sanders, the captain, 5 assists on the season. Of course, he had that game winner, the 6-foot junior, last night. And we'll see how the Junior Bills want to play this one in terms of players committed forward. I'm going to bet you that Hammond is going to move into the box, and that's exactly what the 5 shirt will do. Junior Bills also might be setting up for a short one. Hassemeyer over here as well, 2 goals, 5 assists. Hassemeyer also an all-academic performer, 6'1" senior. They played this one on long the turf. Smet just booms it out of here right into the grandstand on this near side, and that will result in a throw-in now for the Junior Bills. They're going to take their time. Clock winding inside 10 minutes. Partner, good back-and-forth action. I don't see any of these two teams not doing what they wanted to do yet. They've been able to get the Smet, distribute, get forward, get some action on the goal, just maybe not the quality shots they want. St. Louis U High, they're hanging in there, and they're actually controlling the ball, doing what they want to, as you mentioned a moment ago, attacking down the right side.
Yeah, they've gotten to their game. They've gotten it to that right side where they're trying to go. And they've had a couple of looks in the first 5 to 10 minutes there. They were getting long shot opportunities, taking advantage when they get those opportunities because they know it's going to be hard to score on Smet. So let it fly if you see a shooting lane. And you're right, for Smet, they've gotten to their game. They've possessed the ball. They've brought the attack up in different kinds of layers. And they've gone about it different ways, just haven't led to any shots. SLUH's done a very good job of the shot suppression here so far. I don't think either side's got a shot technically here in this game so far.
Yeah, we'll get the official stats at halftime, but I think you might be right, partner. That one was played through that time by Carson Hall all the way between a couple of Smet defenders. No one there for either team. Smith will head this one back forward, tries to get it up there to Sosu. Weber wins that one, and now to Smet on the attack. Far side, this is Sosu, the 11 shirt on that far side right in front of the Junior Bill bench. One-on-one with the defender. Tries to work his way into the box. He does, but all the way back there once again is Hammond, and he booms it back towards midfield to make the play. Here's Javi winning the ball on the second bounce. He's knocked off of it. It deflects and goes out of play. I like the defensive formation for both teams, and I like that they're both very poised. A couple times U-High have just kind of booted it out of there. We've seen one from Smet just a moment ago, or saw one from Smet, I should say. But for the most part, they're both very poised.
Yeah, both have been very poised, and I've liked the game from the center backs when they've been called upon it. For SLUH, it's been more their center backs have been called on. I like what Hammond's done here in this one, and we've talked about it. It's been more of the left and right backers for Smet that have had to be on ready for the attacks that are going out wide. It's clear that SLUH wants to go out wide, while Smet maybe trying to target a little bit more in the middle.
And we saw Nicoletti from Smet, the 7 shirt, get forward a lot here on this near side, maybe the first 5 to 10 minutes. We haven't seen a whole lot of that since then from him. So let's see if that was part of the game plan and changes here as we move on. St. Louis U High, we saw Jernigan from them, the freshman, get forward a lot, especially in that first half last night. He has remained primarily across that back 4 as well, primarily because he knows the attacking prowess of Smet.
Saladin back into the game for Smet now. He played really well in the first 20, 25 minutes when he was out there, went to the bench, got some orders. Keep an eye on him as he's back up there as one of the strikers for Smet here.
Yeah, he might be the easiest one to keep track of out there. He's got that black ski mask on, so you know he's not going to be cold tonight. Now here is Nicoletti. We just talked about it, getting into the attack. He's well up into the attack. Gives it off to Weber. Of course, Weber coming back from the academy. I want to give a shout out to his uncle Jeff Johnson, one of the great athletes in St. Louis U High history. And he is uncle to both of these two. So he said, well, Matt, what do I do? Do I root for my alma mater or do I root for my nephew? So tough position for him to be in for sure. But
gonna have to get one of those split jerseys.
One of the split jerseys you see, of course, Cardinals Cubs jersey, or I don't think you're ever going to find a Yankees Mets jersey. I don't think that's going to be in existence anywhere.
Or Yankees, Red Sox. That
Yankees,
one may not exist either.
That definitely does not exist.
Well, there's that poise you're talking about right there. You know, Nicoletti could have just tried to play that down the line or bomb that out of play. Instead, gets to it, settles it, says, okay, nobody's around me. Let's take our time. Let's not waste possession of the ball.
Well, that one given away by Sosu nearly, but there is Young right off at the tip. Javi tried to anticipate that one. That's what a good forward does, tries to see what another player's going to do and then see if they're going to make a mistake. Now, Smet on the attack on the far side. Tyimba now gets it into the box. Good play there by Chambers. He wanted to quickly restart it, try and get a fast break going, if you will, but The 80s Lakers, they are retired, young man, and so you can't get that fast break going that quickly, and he's just going to put it down now, and he's going to play it up. This is something we talked about in an earlier broadcast as well. If you were to look back at the goalkeepers 12, 15 years ago, you would have said, yes, you got to be a great shot stopper. Good physical size helps. Being able to catch the ball and a good punt. Now, in this day and age, the goalkeeper also has to become another field player at times, can put the ball on the floor and whatnot and play and distribute the ball. We just saw that from Chambers. Both of these two keepers fit that to a T. Both extremely good athletes.
Yeah, and it is such a key part of today's game because you do want that extra guy back there that you can go to because at times pressure can really be applied on your back line. Great ball played ahead here to the corner.
Yeah, we still got good enthusiasm in the crowd. The horns are going. Don't hear the drums we had earlier. There are some drums over there. I see them. They're just not pounding them right now.
I also see the Trojan mascot standing over there.
Yeah, that'll be the Spartan for sure.
Oh, they're so rowdy, they must have gotten a warning from our
Well,
PA
I think it's a
announcer.
lot of the folks standing along the rails in some of the areas where they're not supposed to be. So I'm going to give that PA announcement, and so they do a great job. Now, stay tuned with us at halftime. There's some great awards being given out at MSHSAA as they do every year, and so they're going to present those at the halftime segment. Stay tuned for that one. This one bounces out of play. Actually goes over the fence into the grandstand. St. Louis U High is going to take their time. Just over 3.5 minutes remaining here in this first half of action. St. Louis U High has done what they wanted to, not give one up, but it's that last 5 minutes of half. First 5 minutes and last 5 minutes of any half of soccer, that's when the majority of the goals are scored. And right now, if you're to Smet, now let's see if they don't try and turn the screw a little bit. Here's a quick throw, and this is Weber. A little bit of space in front of him, puts the ball on his left foot, looks things over, and now squares it. Here is Smith on the build-up. Look at how far the Smet defenders are able to come forward. St. Louis U High hasn't closed them down yet, and that allows them to get in the attack. And that's how you turn the screw a little bit more, push the defense back.
Almost kind of use it as kind of a Cobra, really kind of constraint in, really push that defense into the middle there. Now, good job defensively by SLUH as they win this ball back.
Yeah, that was Hammond. He stepped forward. Now he's on a run, puts the ball on his feet. He'll pull it back a little bit. Give way. That's Hassemeyer, and he gives it back to Hammond. Tries to beat the defender, Costello. Again, he does, but he pulls him down. The referee's going to call the foul. They knock it away so they can't get the quick. He's going to say, well, what happened? Again, just like we talked about in that Vianney-Ledoux match, just like we talked about in the third-place game with Rockhurst and Liberty North, a lot of these players have known each other sometimes their entire lives. They played club together. They went to middle school and elementary school together. They played on other teams together. They played against each other a ton. A lot of familiarity here. Sometimes when that happens, you can get very chippy. Other times when that happens, you see players with a high level of respect, and that's what we've seen so far. Both of these coaches talked about how their players and how they coach them. They coach them to respect the game as well as their opponents, and that's important here in the championship match because hopefully what we don't see is one of the teams lose their cool. Saw a little bit that maybe in the third place match, in the third Class 3 match, excuse me.
I was just about to bring that up too, is sometimes calls aren't going to go your way, but you've got to continue to play on while also not losing your cool, because I do think we saw a little bit of that in the Class 3 championship.
Well, good move by Weber. He's knocked off the ball momentarily, but they quickly win it right back. This is Nicoletti once again trying to work his way to the corner. He's got the ball on his right boot. Let's see what he can do with it. Nice launch cross on the box. Here's a header, and it goes just wide of the target. Oh, boy, a great opportunity for DeSmet. Maybe a little frustration on that far side. He'll get the opportunity. Look at this move by Nicoletti, and he puts it right on his foot and launches it a laser across. And, boy, you got to finish that one, I think, or at least get it on frame. I think if he gets that on goal, it goes in on that lower far post.
Yeah, I think he would have had Chambers beat. Looked like he was maybe a split second late getting over there. And it almost looked like whoever that was that got their head on it, he looked like he was saying that he thought that got deflected. It looked like he wanted a corner kick.
Kind of did that whole touching and deflected off of somebody. That was Klein on the backside. Last night he was the catalyst, getting the 2 assists on the first 2 goals in the run of play. The third goal for DeSmet came on a PK. As we have just a minute remaining now in this first half, here's Saladin trying to really start an offensive attack. They'll give this one back. This is Costello. He'll play a long ball up the middle, put the pressure on the defense for St. Louis U High. This is the freshman now. Sosu trying to track him down, plays it out here to the near side, but gives it away. Nicoletti's touch just a little bit off. Boy, that could have been a really, really good opportunity late in the half for the DeSmet Spartans.
Yeah, if he got his foot on that, they were going to have a golden opportunity to get a ball potentially into that box there.
Yeah, a lot of spin on that ball as it deflects and goes out of play. 25 seconds remaining now. Quick throw in. This is Nicoletti. He'll get it right back. I can bet he's going to launch one towards the box. Nope, he's going to put it at his foot, try and play a square ball. On the buildup now, this is Costello. 15 seconds left. One more time out to the left side. This is Mortimer. Can he get one into the box? He's got some space. Is he going to let one go? He does. It's deflected, and that should just about do it, folks. 5 seconds remaining now in this first half, and we will go to halftime, folks. 0-0 is our score in this one. It's been a battle so far, as you'd expect, from two longtime rivals. We've got a good one right here in the Class 4 state championship match. We're going to take a break. When we come back on the other side of that break, we're going to have those halftime ceremonies, and then Tanner and I will bring you some of those first half highlights and talk a little bit about what we've seen so far. Until then, go grab a snack. We'll be back. You have been watching great championship soccer right here on the MSHSAA.TV network.
Activities. Today we are proud to recognize Stephen Talbot of O'Fallon as a 25-year award recipient in soccer. Stephen has cherished his experiences in youth sports, both as a coach and referee, and has especially enjoyed refereeing at the high school level. He greatly values the respect and sportsmanship shown by players and coaches, which makes the games truly enjoyable. MSHSAA is honored to celebrate Stephen Talbot for his invaluable contributions to high school sports. Let's give a big round of applause to this year's 25-year Courtesy Award recipient, Stephen Talbot. Our next presentation, it is our pleasure to recognize David Krupka of Kansas City as the 2024 Missouri Boys Soccer Official of the Year. David feels honored and blessed to receive this award. Over his career, he has worked alongside outstanding referees, coaches, and players at various levels, including high school, NCAA, and professional soccer. Notably, he has officiated 4 high school state championships in the U.S. Youth Soccer National Championship match. David extends heartfelt thanks to his wife Cheryl for her unwavering support, as well to the referees, mentors, assigners, friends, and family who have helped him along the way. To schools, coaches, administrators, and players, he encourages continued efforts to make the game even better for the future. And to his fellow referees, he celebrates not just their skill, but their exceptional character. MSHSAA is proud to honor David Krupka as a valued contributor to Missouri high school sports. Let's give a big round of applause for the 2024 Missouri Boys Soccer Official of the Year, David Krupka. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the field for another special presentation. Please join us in honoring Anthony Gardner, this year's recipient of the Mal Mays Distinguished Service Award. Anthony began his officiating career in 1990 and has officiated 11 high school state finals. Since stepping off the field in 2015, he has served as a dedicated soccer observer, helping to mentor and educate officials throughout the state. He says his goal as an observer is to help promote and educate soccer officials throughout the state, hoping they will be as blessed by high school soccer as he has been over the years. Anthony's passion for officiating and commitment to the development of future officials has made a lasting impact on Missouri high school soccer. We are proud to recognize his outstanding contributions and dedication to MSHSAA. Congratulations, Anthony, on this well-deserved honor. And now for another special presentation. MSHSAA is proud to honor Jim Powers with the Malmaze Distinguished Service Award. Jim, originally from Youngstown, Ohio, has been a tremendous advocate for Missouri high school sports for more than 20 years. Since moving to St. Louis, he has become one of Missouri's go-to voices for high school athletics, serving as a broadcaster and studio host for MSHSAA Championships and MSHSAA.TV. Jim has worn many hats at MSHSAA Championships, including this week here at Lindenwood, where he's been serving as our lead statistician and public address announcer. Beyond his broadcasting work, Jim has actively contributed as a high school coach and sports official, and he's a familiar face at KTVI Fox 2's prep sports coverage. Tonight we celebrate Jim's dedication, passion, and countless contributions to high school sports in Missouri. Thank you, Jim Powers, for your outstanding service. Please join us in congratulating Jim on this well-deserved honor.
You kidding me? And the Norwood Pirates have their first ever state title.
Jackson, oh, it goes! For the first time in 9 years, the trophy goes back to Chesterfield.
One in this one, make it to Annika Holtorf.
Well, welcome back to the 57th Annual Missouri State Boys High School Soccer Championships. Huge crowd on tap for this one, and we are locked in a battle, 0-0 at halftime. To Smet Jesuit High School taking on St. Louis University High School, and it's been a good one thus far. Partner, what have we seen so far, and what do you think we can expect here in this second half?
Well, we've seen a very good defensive game from both sides. To Smet, they definitely held most of the possession in that first half. I'd say it was probably 65% in their favor, maybe a little bit more than that. But they've held possession. But though they've held possession of it, they haven't been able to generate any quality shots from it. You know, we've seen a couple of times Landon Weber. We've talked about him a lot. He's the guy to keep an eye on in that midfield. He's gotten the ball a couple times there, and he's made some nice passes. But for the most part, he hasn't found a shooting lane. And for SLUH High, I think this game's playing out just the way that they wanted it to. They've been tightly compact defensively. They've had a couple of looks in the attacking third. It's just going to come down to who's going to be the one that's going to be able to get that first goal on the board.
Sure, that's exactly what is going to happen. The first one that can get that first tally will be in the driver's seat. Of course, I asked Coach Mickler if he could give me some analysis of the first half. He passed on a few words, especially from his experience, having played both of these teams a number of times. But he said St. Louis U High, they're holding serve, exactly what they needed to do. And he, even though we talked a little bit about it, the Smet, not with a letdown, but he said they're not playing offensively with the same intensity. If you're SLUH, he said, keep shooting the ball and hope you get a deflection, and you're opportunistic in the front end. For DeSmet, on the other side, he'd like to see them really be more urgent in the attack. Take it right at the U High defense, and we'll see how that plays in this second half. But he said anybody's game, and that first goal is going to make a huge difference in this one. Yeah,
it really will, because, I mean, you mentioned in the first half, DeSmet, they can really clamp down defensively if they get that first one on the board, and then it'll just get even harder for SLUH High. And if you're SLUH High, if you find a way to break through first, you can attempt to do the exact same thing to what DeSmet does very well.
Now this one right into the teeth of the U High defense, knocked out of there that time. That was Hammond once again. He was very strong in that first half. U High now trying to break out down the side to the right side of the box. Now a little bit of a nifty move, still with the ball at his feet. That'll deflect into the goal box, and, well, that's what Coach Mickler talked about. Throw it at the goal and see what happens. Hope you enjoyed our halftime ceremonies. Of course, all those folks very special. I've gotten to know a number of those folks who were honored at halftime. Want to give a special shout-out to Anthony Gardner for his service award, longtime official. Got a chance to talk to him, and every year I get to come to the State Boys Championships and Girls Championships. He's one of our observing officials. He's a longtime official. Great gentleman as well. And we talk about everything from the kids to football to soccer and the state of things, but always a great conversation and a great gentleman. And, of course, Jimmy Powers got honored for his service as well. You might have seen Jason West down there on the field as well, longtime Director of Communications for MSHSAA, as Jimmy was honored. And I go back with Jimmy maybe longer than anybody else that's in this booth, but we've known each other a long time. We broadcasted together a long time, and great to see him get honored for all his service. Not only does Jimmy do a lot from the media standpoint for MSHSAA, he's also an official. He works in athletic department, so great to see him get honored, and congratulations to Jimmy. And I know you're going to be celebrating tonight, and I know just where you'll be celebrating. I'm not sure if I can join you or not, but again, congrats to him for the distinguished service that he has given to the Missouri State High School Activities Association. And once again, it's about the kids, and that's how it's always been for Jimmy. Present the kids, whether it's on TV, whether it's on radio, whether it's coming out to any type of a competition. Make sure that the focus is on those youngsters, those young boys and those young girls, and he does it well all the time. This one goes behind Sosu here in this near corner, and DeSmet had a little bit of control here, try to build it up through the midfield and then play it to the outside. Just not quite on the same page. You don't see that very often from this senior-laden team.
Yeah, you mentioned it. They are senior-laden team that have played together for a very long time, so a little surprising to see that they are a little off in terms of what they wanted to do. Sosu was thinking, okay, I'm going to make this run inside the 18-yard box. His teammate was thinking, let's go out wide and then see if we can swing it into the box. And those are the little things now that you would think here by the time we get to the championship game. I mean, this is game number 26 for DeSmet on the season. Those are things that you kind of expect early on in the year, those little miscommunications.
Now this one boomed back towards midfield, headed up in the air, brought down. St. Louis U High with a brief bit of possession. DeSmet, though, with two players right there. Interrupting things was Klein coming all the way back. This one will carry him and go all the way down the field, right over the sideline, out of play. And Nicoletti will grab this one and throw it in right from the U High bench. Now the horns, now the drums are banging. Both teams and their fan bases trying to get their teams and propel them to victory. Be interesting to see if the number 7 shirt for DeSmet comes forward. We saw them with some success offensively, and it's a little bit about what Coach Mickler is talking about, a little bit more urgency in the attack. They come out of the back, you get into the front. The other thing is they really haven't tested the goalkeeper, Cole Chambers, much. They haven't gotten that shot on goal. When they had their opportunities last night against Rockhurst, their intent was known. We're going to come forward and we're going to shoot. They were one-timing it, and they were putting everything on frame. They have not been able to do that tonight. Part credit to St. Louis U High defense, but maybe that sense of urgency as well.
Yeah, that SLUH High defense has been very good tonight, but you're spot on. They haven't really been able to generate any shots. I don't think either goalkeeper's been really tested tonight. They've had to come off the line once or twice. I don't think there might be one or two shots that have been credited. There definitely has not been a shot on goal to test either keeper. So we'll see if maybe these teams start to try and line up some long shots to see if they can surprise the goalie here a little bit in the second half.
It's a nice build up here. This is Mortimer on this near left side. Maybe the furthest we've seen him get forward in either one of the halves. He's way forward, 30 yards from the goal line. This one knocked out of play. Let's see what the referee says, and that will result now in the first corner kick here of the second half, and this one's for the Spartans. They had just one in that first half, and Saladin will come over to the near corner to take this one.
He placed one of those corners in the first half perfectly right in the middle of the box. They just couldn't get to the receiving end of it.
6 in the box, 3 lurking outside the box. St. Louis U High has everyone inside the 12-yard spot. This one lined towards the goal. Karam's off of a couple of players. Jernigan tries to get it out there. He can't. Still pinballs around. And there is Cole Chambers to his left. Dives to keep that one from going out of play. It would have been another corner kick for DeSmet that time. So the SLUH defense holds strong, but had to be a little nervous on that one as it pinballed around and came right to DeSmet, open at the top of the box.
And good job to get to that ball first from the defense. Not sure which SLUH player it was that got there first, but they really crowded the keeper. They wanted to make things tough on Chambers in goal. So you got to make sure you get to that ball first, especially when it's in your own 6-yard box. And then they did a good job to block a couple of shots as well.
Good play by Kazan just a moment ago to settle that one down and put a little move on somebody. Wanted to give and go pass. It went beyond him. Turned it over to DeSmet. Knocked out a play, and now the Junior Bills will immediately turn and go the other way. This is Sanders. He weaves his way between a couple of defenders, distributes out the far side. Now they're on the attack. This is Hassemeyer. He'll launch this one across. Smith is right there as he has been throughout the entire season for the DeSmet Spartans. Distributes forward. Now Saladin on a give and go, and that's a long give and go, and he's using his pace out on the right side. He's got the ball with a little bit of space in front of him, lines this one to the top of the box. This is Sosu, ball on his right foot. He miskicked it slightly, though. He was a little off balance, maybe a slight bit behind him. Sometimes if you look at that from American football standpoint, that would be the quarterback throwing the ball a little bit behind a receiver, and he can't quite glove it.
Perfect analogy there, partner, and a really good ball played back towards that 18-yard box. Sosu, I think he wanted to try and get that ball settled to his left foot, and with that, he just wasn't able to get a good touch there.
Well, right now he's on the run again into the box now. A couple of defenders from St. Louis U High around him, but he's still got the ball. Knocks it in there, scissor kicked out by the Junior Bills, and now they want to break out and go the other way. They don't have any players forward. They'll give it to Kazan. He'll lay it off, and now they'll try and play with just a little bit of poise. DeSmet, though, they're seeming to turn up the intensity defensively and pressuring the ball a little bit. So good move by SLUH here to take the air out of it a little bit and not push it all the way forward. All the way back to the back line now. This is the number 2 shirt for them. This is Chalmers. Andrew launches it long, right into the teeth of that DeSmet defense, and now here's Weber. Let's see what he wants to do with it. Left foot to Saladin. You know he likes to attack. Back off to Weber. Now to Weber, number 2. Or excuse me, that was to Klein over there. Now, a lot of space in the middle of the park. St. Louis U High on the run to the left side. Once again, this is Hassemeyer, the captain. Puts it on his left foot, tries to go right through the defense. And coming back to clean that one up is Costello. Back to midfield. Jernigan, the freshman, into the middle of the park. Here are the Junior Bills on the attack. That was Patty Byrne. He'll distribute. Once again, Hassemeyer, 2 defenders on him. Going to be tough to beat both of those two. Good play that time by Nicoletti. He's trying to draw the foul, and he does draw the foul.
Just got into the stats from the first half, partner, and both teams were credited with 1 shot. So been very good defensive battle here, and neither one of those shots ended up being on goal. So we're still awaiting our first shot on goal in today's contest. I will say this, I've noticed when SLUH, when they do have that counterattack here in the second half, they don't have any numbers in the box to swing that ball into. They get it out wide, but nobody's there. Good ball play in the middle there.
Was good ball. Both teams, I didn't have that correct. Both teams had a corner kick, had 2 corner kicks in that first half, but you're right. Neither goalkeeper was forced to make a save. Here's Weber now. He'll distribute out here to the near side. Sosu, ball on his left foot. And he'll line this one across the box. Boy, he was looking for Saladin, who was lurking. And right now to Smet, dangerous. They're starting to ask some of the questions they were unable to ask in that first half. And now, can they get somebody on the end of one of those that keeps going into the box? And if you're St. Louis U High, you cannot give the ball away like they just did there in the middle of the park. Because to Smet, with a lot of room, now they're going to build it up. And this is Nicoletti. Good through ball. This is Saladin. Saladin's starting to also maybe put his fingerprint on this one a little bit more, being more active. This one launched across the box, headed right back into the middle, and then Byrne tries to knock it out of there. St. Louis U High with a little bit of trouble. This is the freshman over there, one-on-one with Klein on that far, or excuse me, yeah, with Klein on the far side, and Klein wins the battle. They'll deflect out of play, and this will go to the Spartans right near their own bench. We are just about 10 minutes into this second half. Let me remind all of you now, immediately following the broadcast, you can click the download button and you can own this piece of MSHSAA content forever. This is going to be a great keepsake for any of the young men participating in this one, the coaches, the families, whatever it might be. You can own this piece of MSHSAA content forever. Just click that download button. It'll take you to a login page, and from there you can purchase it. What a great holiday keepsake, a birthday present, a graduation gift, whatever it might be. And you know, the Smet, they've got 9 seniors on that squad. Now St. Louis U High over here on the near side on the breakout. This is Wolf. Ball at his feet, defender in front of him, one-on-one with Mortimer. Tries to beat Mortimer, gets past him. Now he'll launch this one. Smith is right there, and Smith deflects it out of play as he's done all evening long. So you beat one to Smet defender, it's going to be awfully tough to beat the next one. You see the play here once again. Wolf one-on-one with Mortimer. Might have slipped slightly as he went to his right side, got him tangled up, but then there's Smith easily deflects that one out of play.
And there's those layers that we've talked about throughout the game, right? Not only do they attack in layers, but they will defend in layers right there. And Wolf, good job. Made the nice move there to get past that first defender. Try and put it on goal. Earn yourselves a corner kick. And again, it just takes one opportunity to really put your side in front here and really put the pressure on the other side.
Well, that's what we'll try and do with this set piece. This one deflected towards the goal and knocked out of there, and it'll result in the second corner kick of the half now for the Junior Bills on consecutive plays. Referee's going to allow a substitution to come in now for the Junior Bills.
I think that was Byrne that got his right foot on that one on a nice
made a
low
nice
line
play,
cross.
that's for sure.
That, again, when you get that ball in the box there's so many bodies on these corners. If you do get a shot like that, that thing could pinball around off defenders, and you might almost get more of an accidental goal off a deflection, but they don't ask how. They ask how many.
Well, here it comes on the boot. This one to the far stick on the backside. No one on the end of it for the Junior Bills. They will track it down, though. Knocked off. Good play by the Smet player, Nicoletti, to get it. Checking in for the Junior Bills just a moment ago. Kazan back into the lineup. Here's a battle. Junior Bills to the side of the box, across to the 12-yard spot. Nobody there for him, and DeSmet with good defensive formation to come back and clean that one up. Now they want to break out and go the other way. Here's an opportunity now for the Spartans. A great defensive play to come back and get that one. And now under control. Excuse me, this is the young man that checked in a moment ago. This is, again, there's not a 28 shirt on the Junior Bills roster. This is Luke Schumann. He played last night. He is typically number 12 on the roster, so if you've got one at home and you're watching this at home, 28 is Schumann. He just checked in a moment ago. Had a nice run out last night. Now we're going to get our first yellow card of the match, and that will go to the 16 shirt for DeSmet. It's Gavin Weber. So first card in this one, and just a heavy collision. I don't think there's any malice in that one whatsoever. This game is not, by any stretch of the imagination, getting into a chippy situation. He'll just go off for a few minutes. He's a little upset. He didn't think he should have gotten a yellow card. Maybe marginal, but the referee was in good position to call it.
Well, it may not be getting chippy, but it is starting to open up a little bit. Both
Sure
sides really starting to get going on the counter-attacking for SLUH. They had that opportunity where they played it back across the 18-yard box, and it just missed its intended target by about a couple feet.
Hall will play this one on the floor to the corner. Now, I see a little nifty run by Wolf. Gets to the corner now, crosses this one on the pitch, and oh, just over the top of the bar. Believe that one off the football goalpost, but that was definitely the best chance for St. Louis U High, and give them credit because they took a page right out of the Smet playbook. Watch this. Watch the run by Wolf. Doop! Step over move, and now watch him slot this one. Right there, and on the end of it that time was Kazan. He hit it one time. That's how DeSmet scored their goal, right on the near post last night. Their first tally came in nearly the exact type of a play. little bit more of a diagonal ball from them, but it was a one-time shot that slotted just up underneath the bar, and that's what Kazan tried to do there and nearly unknotted this one. Well, it's opening up, partner, just like you said.
And
we could be in. Fasten your seatbelts.
And give credit. That was Mortimer that stepped in front, right in front of that shooting lane to maybe rush that shot just a little bit on what was a very good ball play in the box. And Wolf had some success on this side of the field in that first half, if you remember back. They were attacking on the far side. Of course, now that they've flipped, Wolf, where are they going? They're going right back to him to see if he can generate any kind of offense from the outside. This is what they're trying to do. Go outside to in. That's the way SLUH's been trying to attack all game long, and that time it almost led to the first goal.
Yeah, good build-up for them right now. They'll have an opportunity on the throw-in restart. They'll slow it down just a little bit. This is Chalmers. Launch a long one, tries to get it Kazan, and it's going to flip up, go over the end line off of his head, out of play, and so Smet now will have the opportunity for the restart and the goal kick.
I'll say this, Smet seems almost a little surprised at how SLUH's coming at him there in this second half, because first half it felt like SLUH sat back just a little bit, trying to take some of the punches, take some of the blows, and they kept it 0-0, which they wanted coming into half number 2. Now they're starting to pick it up a little bit, really starting to push the attack, try and push the envelope here a little bit. It almost looks like maybe Smet's been caught a little bit off guard by it.
Well, one thing SLUH's going to have to guard against, though, is that counterattack, and right now Klein full stretch into the offensive end of things. Rule checks in for St. Louis U High, his first run out of the match. He played quite a bit yesterday, the number 15 shirt. You see him front running right there, and clearly Coach Costello said your job is to go cause some problems for the Smet defense when they try and build it up. But here's Nicoletti. Great run for him down the side to the side of the box, still with possession of the ball, and then he stripped off of it. Let's see if the Junior Bills can't build it up on the outside. That pass, a little bit of weight, is going to drift and go over the sideline. Out of play. 15 minutes here into this second half, folks. It's been back and forth. These two longtime rivals. They have met twice in state Final Four action, once in a third-place game. That one goes all the way back to 2002, and St. Louis U High came out on top 3-0 in that third-place match. But the big one was back in 1995, and Coach Vitello gets the victory in that one, 1-0 over St. Louis U High in the championship match. And Smet at that time won their third state championship. Now on the attack here once again. Here's a shot from well out. This is Klein. Side-footed it slightly, and that'll result in a goal kick. Didn't quite have it. It was trying to create just that little bit of space for himself, lay it off, and then come around the ball, but ended up hitting it off the outside of the boot.
And I like the idea, too. It's been tough sledding right now. You're not going to get an opportunity in the 18-yard box unless there's a deflection. So why not? You've got that shooting lane. You created that space. See if you can get it on target, as you said. Just kind of caught that one off the side of the foot. But that's probably what it's going to take to get this first goal. A shot from distance that either beats the keeper or maybe takes the deflection and ends up bouncing in one team's favor.
Bubba Berry comes back in for St. Louis U High. Wolf goes to the bench. He had that nice run just a moment ago, and Berry with some instructions from his coaching staff, probably going to see if he can change the game just a little bit now to Smet, as they're wont to do. Go all the way back to Anthony Young. He'll take his time, and he'll distribute to Nicoletti out that far side. That one nearly intercepted, but good play by Dominic to push it forward. Waited for the ball, was patient enough, made the St. Louis U High player run right past it, and then he put it down the line. Now here's Klein once again. One-on-one with the defender stepping in front of him there is Chalmers. Still battling for the ball. It's going to deflect and go out of play. Smet wanted the call on that one. They didn't get it, but they don't complain. They just get right back into the game, and they play.
I'll say this, too. What's made Smet so dangerous on the attack here in this game is their movement away from the ball. Man, they really kind of intertwine their runs all the time, and it's kind of stalled a little bit. It's been a little stagnant here in the last 5 to 10 minutes. They're going to have to get back to that creativity away from the ball, because that's what's led to some of their best opportunities today.
And really, we saw that earlier with Ledoux. That was what led to some of their opportunities. Now Sosu works his way into the right side of the box. He'll slot this one towards the goal. Keeper right there, though. Maybe he got some pace on it, but didn't get the accuracy as he would have maybe liked to, and go to the opposite side of the goal.
Yeah, pressure on his backside there, too. He knew he had to get that shot off. The defense was closing in on him. So throw it towards goal. See if maybe you can beat the goalie with just your pace. See if you maybe do get a rebound opportunity. But you're right. I think if he had the defender another step back behind him, he's going to try and pick out that far side corner.
Yeah, give full credit to the goalkeeper as well, Cole Chambers. He's well schooled again. St. Louis U High wins this free kick, but Coach Costello wanted to pass along some words about his assistant coaches, Chris Kenny. Of course, a lot of people around the state of Missouri know him. He's a great professional soccer player, and of course, Coach Marquette High School on the boys and girls side. He's now an assistant for the Junior Bills, but then also Jay Zaber is the goalkeepers coach, and he said what a joy it's been to work with Cole Chambers. He gets him for 2 more years. Chambers just a sophomore, so going to get better and better and better as Hammond comes forward now. He'll take this one. Junior Bills, 3 in the center of the box, 1 to the right, 2 to the left, and they're going to place 1 player right near the wall. Chipped in now. Hammond, they try to get the flick. Good defense from DeSmet once again, and Young is going to track it down. He's just going to take his time, and didn't see a whole lot in front of him. Decided, well, we're going to take the air out of it. And sometimes with a team like DeSmet, if you're a veteran team, what they're doing, they're going to now allow us to get our shape, and they're going to get some substitutions in the match as well. Namely, Tahimsa, again, he scored the winning goal. He nearly got one in that first half, the 18 shirt. We'll see if he can't be a catalyst for them offensively. I believe Gavin Weber is back in there too. He got that yellow card just a bit ago, and 16 is in there. Here's a shot from well out. This one deflects. Junior Bills now win it right back, far side. This is Jernigan. Jernigan. Nifty little play to weave your way between a couple of defenders, lay it off. Can they get the cross? That one's blocked again and deflected by the DeSmet defense. St. Joe High maybe just thinking if we can keep throwing things in there and we can maybe be opportunistic. Here is that opportunity on the turf. Low to his right side. Big time save that time from Jackson Keys, but that's that opportunistic approach that SLUH wants to imply.
Yeah, not sure he got enough on that one with that left foot when he came up to hit that. But a good look, you're right. That's the opportunity you want. You've been creating these offensive looks here. Now you got one finally on goal. Good challenge there. Yeah,
Tahimsa used his speed to get down the line with the ball. He was coming at pace, but Junior Bill defense right there as well. This is Bubba Berry. We're going to get a foul right now, and again, that one's going to go against Weber. Not sure that I saw the foul, but the referee was in good position. And again, all you can ask for the official is to be in good position. You're going to make a judgment call. As long as you're in position, okay. Smet quickly, they might have complained briefly, but as both teams have done all game long, they're saying, all right, time to get right back in play.
They've not lost their composure either. Again, we mentioned we saw that a little bit in that Class 3 state championship game. Vianney had a couple calls go against them, and then it kind of started to lose their cool a little bit. Got to stay composed here in the final 20 minutes.
Chambers targeted Sanders with that last one. Sanders flicked it up in the air. Now it drifts all the way into the box. Goalkeeper off his line. Good play that time by Jackson Keys. Keys had to make a big save just a moment ago, low to his right side. Now to Smet. They'll attack on the right side. In the middle, this is Saladin. Tries to play the through ball. He had Weber right in front of him on a slot. Elected to go down the line instead. Here's McManus for DeSmet.
Everything's kind of become choppy a little bit in the midfield for DeSmet. They had that great movement. They would get it up the middle and then swing it out wide. It's just kind of become really choppy. SLUH's done a good job to close to the space now.
Mortimer now from the pass from Smith. Now he'll give away to Weber. One-on-one with the defender. Nifty little move to his left foot. Can he get the cross off? Uses his body to shield it. Now he'll play it off. Here's Mortimer once again. Launches it to the middle of the box. No one on the end of it for DeSmet just yet. Battle for the ball. No one on the end of it still. Here's Klein, and Klein continuing to grind his way through. This one deflects and goes out of play. Spartans will get the throw in right by their own bench. Nicoletti wants to take it quickly. He quickly gets it in to McManus, and they've got a little space, but that's closed down. Junior Bills, again, deflect another one out of play. Nicoletti does not want to waste time. He has that sense of urgency Coach Mickler talked about at the halftime report. Here's a shot low on the turf. Well, Weber said we're going to get a shot on goal, and that's exactly what just happened there. Good save. So both of these teams in the last couple of minutes getting their initial shots on goal, I believe, official shots on goal, I should say.
Yeah, that's not an easy save for Chambers, right? You're taught as a goalie on those low shots like that to go down and kind of caress the ball so there is no rebound. That was right in that in-between hop there range where it is, okay, do I catch that with the hands or do I let this bounce? Good ball played down the line.
Well, here we go once again. Tahimsa one-on-one with the defender. Last time he went to the left. Let's see what he wants to do here. He goes back to the right, looking to distribute. That's exactly what he'll do. Into the attack now. It's Mortimer. Take the air out of it just a little bit.
Good recovery by SLUH there. That was a good ball down the line, but they got back and got bodies into the box and then did a good job of marking up.
They'll win this one right back from Nicoletti. Now, can they get it forward? They do. That's behind Sanders, right to Smith. Smith with his poise goes forward here on the attack. That time it was Gavin Weber. He's knocked off the ball. Junior Bills win it, and now they'll play a little catch on that far side. On the build-up now. Sanders checks his run, but they're still full stretch. You go full stretch like that, the ball gets too far in front of you against a team like the Smet. They're going to gobble you up defensively. Timza on this near side. Here's Landon. Through ball to Saladin, to Timza on the left side of the box. Now he slots this one across. Deflected to the keeper. Opportunity for DeSmet. St. Louis High gets it back out. Not out of danger yet. No, Mortimer cleans it up. McManus. Klein. Spin turns in front of the defense. Now tries to work his way through the box. Wanted a foul. Didn't get it. Again, referee in great position for the no call. Of course, DeSmet, they want to have none of it. At least their fans don't. Players keep playing. This is Sanders. Full stretch run for him. To the left side. Now Junior Bills on the counterattack. Nicoletti gets back nicely. This one lofted across the box. Past everyone. Anyone going to be able to check it down? Yes, the Junior Bills will. Into the corner for Wolf. Well, we saw him with a nifty little move earlier. Tries to get past Mortimer again, and that time Evan is not going to allow it to happen. He booms it all the way back out towards midfield to his counterpart in the number 2 shirt. That's Chalmers, and now the Junior Bills on the attack. Here's Sanders once again using the shield of the ball. Gets past McManus, another defender there, still with the ball at his feet. Well, good distribution there, time in the middle. Got it to Barry, but good break up there, and that's Young coming forward to make the good play. Jernigan stepped there, but boy, back and forth action, both of these two teams, and there's a sense of pace to everything they're doing right now, and that urgency starting to happen just a little bit more. If you're St. Louis U High, that urgency might be confidence because it's 15 minutes left in the contest and it's still 0-0. If you're DeSmet, might be getting a little tense. I don't expect that to happen with 9 seniors in the starting lineup, but you just never know how much that creeps in.
Yeah, and it's a good point by you because when you're DeSmet, you're the team that's beaten SLUH High twice already this year. So we've talked about this. You know, your thought process is, hey, we've beaten these guys twice. We should be the team that's kind of viewed as the favorites, quote unquote. And SLUH High's kind of been bringing it to them here in this second half. So you're probably right. There probably is a little bit of anxiousness going on right now for DeSmet. If you're SLUH High, though, they're playing really well here in this second half. They got to be having the confidence soaring through the roof right now.
Knocked down. Foul that time by Tehimza and St. Louis U High. They're going to take their time as well. Chambers is going to come over. He'll take this free kick. Full throat now for the crowd as they start to cheer on both teams. Chambers will get set to take this free kick. Now, good play that time by McManus. Got past Sanders to deflect it away right back to the middle. That's Weber. Now it's Sanders. Oh, he'll distribute. Interesting play now. Here's Barry with an opportunity. He'll put it on his left foot. He's got a player out to his left. That's exactly where he'll go with it. This is Hassemeyer. He'll launch it towards the top of the box. Good defense there once again. That's Young. He was in great position. Made the play now. Saladin, counterattack. This is Weber. One more time out here to Tehimza. He's on the left side, one-on-one with the defender. He gets to the side of the box. Good defense that time for St. Louis U High. He's going to run right up his back. He'll be called for the foul. The Smet fans holler about that one. They are not very happy about it. And the crowd is all going to stick around. In fact, I think the stands are more full now than they were at the start of the match, especially look down below us. It didn't like there was many seats open. There's none now. And now you look behind the goal and all the stands back there, and fans have filled some of those seats more than they were in the first half. This one out of play, not a kick that Chambers would have liked. And now we're going to get a substitution for DeSmet. Costello coming back in for them, as is Sosu. And for the Junior Bills, the 25 shirt for them is Kazan. Kazan really had the best opportunity, I think, of the contest as he took that one-time shot, went just high up over the goal on the near post. So let's see if he can't do something like that. And, of course, we've seen Sosu. He's been very tough to handle. Let's see if they don't try and get the ball to him. And we know what good Costello can do from a distribution standpoint and a disruptive standpoint. So,
you know, real quick credit to Andrew Chalmers, this right back here for SLUH High. He's made a couple of plays on the last couple of runs that have been down on this side to make sure that he doesn't get beat, and then the real problems begin for SLUH.
Well, great play by Gavin there. He's still got the ball at his feet, tries to work it to his left. He does, chips it to the backside. No one there But the Smet will track it down, and that's Costello, and the referee's going to say it went out of play over the end line. So Costello thought he had saved it. Looked pretty clean to me, but nonetheless, I am way up here in the booth, and the officials are down there on the field. They're a lot closer to it than I am. And now Chambers is going to take the goal kick once again.
This now allows to alleviate some of that pressure that was starting to build. It's been a fun second half here because you get to Smet that builds some pressure for about a 3 to 4 minute spurt, and then SLUH High comes back on the other end of things and has done the same thing. This has been a very even second half. You know, I thought Smet held most of the possession in that first half, though it didn't lead to any shots that they were able to generate. This one's been probably a 50-50 split possession-wise. Good ball.
Great settle ball by Barry. Now he distributes to Sanders. Sanders was the goal scorer for the U-High. Right now he slots one through. Opportunity now, but what a great play coming across for Nicoletti there that time. And every time you think you got a half a step on that Smet defense, they just collapse on you. You know, those 4 veterans back there, I can't give them enough credit for what they've done. The position that they're always in to make the play, and if one of their players gets beat, there's another one there. Watch this play by Nicoletti here. Great run. Once again, here's Sanders tiptoes through and then puts that slot ball. Nicoletti right there. I'm just going to touch it over.
And to your point, it's smart defense as well because you saw there was a runner on the outside, but Nicoletti knows he doesn't matter. We've got to stop the ball up the middle. So what's he do? Comes over. That's that layered defense that we've been talking about. Cuts it off, and a nice ball chipped over. But wasted opportunity there for SLUH High, but good defense from Smet because you're right. They really are compacting inside when one defender gets beat. And SLUH High's been able to beat them a couple times here in the second half.
Can get past the first one, but not that second one. Schumann just checked back into the match here again. He wears 28, not 12 if you've got a roster. The Smet will go long down the line. That one's deflected. That'll result in, if they can't track that down, the Smet's going to have the opportunity to get the ball. It does stay in play. The Smet wanted to throw in. Now back towards midfield. This one headed right back in by Weber. He gets it right back on the deflection. Pinballs around a couple of players. 2 players go high up in the air, 50-50 ball. And there's another 50-50 ball. The Smet wins this one. Now that's a nice play by Landon as he does a couple spin turns, gets to Costello on the left side. Costello's almost moved up into a winger instead of a central midfielder. One-on-one with the defender now. Tries to get on his left foot, does, right into the box. And right there, making a great play is Hammond. And now St. Louis U-High alleviates the pressure. They get it back out. Because then now he'll step on it. Oh, nifty little move for him to get past one player. And a good backwards play that time by Mortimer. He restrips it. Boy, back and forth action here. Lot of intensity in the ball right now. Costello from Weber. And we're going to have an offsides call. And, partner, correct me if I'm wrong, but is that the first one you have on your stat sheet? That's the first one I've got.
That's the first one I've got as well. That one was first of the game. That just tells you how clean this game has been played. There's been only a couple of fouls as well. I don't know if you've been tracking them. I haven't, but there's only been a handful that we saw. Taking a look at the boxer, there's only 7 total in that first half. So it's been action-packed soccer, and both sides have been playing very clean here today.
Yeah, there's a win right there for Smet, and that is a foul. That'll be a definite foul. Right on cue.
That's the announcer's jinx right there for you, folks.
Here's Landon Weber now. Tries to get into the attack. He'll distribute to Nicoletti out on that right side. And I think the Smet is at their best when those backs can come forward. Dehimza now tries to get to the right touch line. Launches this one across. Saved. Nope. Out of play. Corner kick. So to Smet now with their second corner kick of the half. 2 in the first half. 2 in the second half. 8.5 remaining. And now very dangerous restart and a set piece for the Spartans. Saladin's going to come back into the match. He's one of those talisman that they could have up there. Like to have him in that run. So is Klein. Klein's going to go over to the corner kick. This may be a short one.
I like what they're doing, too, by the way, crowding the goalie. They did that on the last corner kick or 2 corner kicks ago, and they got a pretty good ball in the box that SLUH High happened to connect with. I like the fact that they're going to crowd the keeper there. They've got 4 or 5 guys lined up on that goal line.
Yes, all up there for Smet right now. St. Louis U-High, everybody back in the boxes. Well, this one launched. This is an in-swinger away from the goal. They tried to target Smith on the backside. They get a little bit of a push.
Yeah, and I think they would want that one back. As good job by the official here. He's tired of hearing the barking, but he's not going to hand out a card, especially here. You don't want the officials to be the ones that kind of dictate the state championship in the final 8 minutes. But, again, want that ball when you crowd the goalie like that. Want that one a little bit more closer to the keeper because that's the point of that, right? Crowd him up, make it very tough on him if he has to go up for a ball.
Yeah, one or two options there, which I like that one in this type of game with the intensity level so high, a scramble for the ball. The other one is to see if you can unleash somebody and give them a header without being marked, and I just don't think that's going to happen in this contest. Everything is too tight.
Yeah, and both teams have been very good when it comes to marking in this one. We haven't really seen anybody be left alone, whether it be on a corner kick, on a free kick, on a run into the box.
Well, and that's good coaching. It's also the rivalry here. That'll be a handball. That deflected up. He knew it right away. Gavin Weber waited for the referee to blow the whistle after that little pop up to his left arm, and now Chambers is going to come over once again. He's going to take this one. It's a good piece out of his goal box here. 6.5 remaining almost as it winds towards that time frame on the clock. Right-footed boot. This is a liner. Tries to target. Costello was up high to get that one. St. Louis U High brings it down. This is Kazan. His shot blocked once again by Smith. Smith has been right there all ball game long. It's either been him or Young or Nicoletti or Mortimer. They've done a great job. This is stripped away now. Here comes DeSmet, taken away as well. This is Sanders with a nifty little move. He's got a player out there on the left that doesn't see him. Now he goes that way. Wants to create some space. Into the middle. Try to get it to Kazan. Smith up his backside, and he knocks it away. Good play that time by Brady, and now DeSmet with an opportunity. Into the hole, far side. That one goes behind Klein. Good idea, though. Both those players knew where they were at on the pitch. He tried to do a little one-touch out there because he knew that Klein had a lot of space.
Yeah, and if he gets that to him, now you're off and running down that far side. Boy, back to that play there for Kazan where he had that nice little touch. But he's been pretty good so far here today. You mentioned had the great opportunity on the ball in the box where he had the chance for the shot. But he got a nice little nifty touch there with that left foot to create that opportunity to try and get it on frame. But once again, we saw that DeSmet defense collapse on the ball and block the shot.
Well, Javi Vahil checks back in. He's had quite a rest here, so let's see if he's got some fresh legs. The number 14 shirt, you know, he can cause some havoc. One of the leading goal scorers for St. Louis U High. In fact, he is their leading goal scorer in terms of tallies on the season, 10. It's going to take a moment of inspiration from somebody in this one.
And, you know, to that point with him, you know, he's been held in check today. Haven't really said his name a lot. It's going to come down to who's the player that steps up in this one to become the hero. And it may not be the guys that were on the scouting report that the teams really wanted to focus in on in this contest.
That happens a lot of times. Good through ball now by Mortimer to Klein. Left side of the box. This one's deflected, but right to Suso. St. Louis U High comes back to clean it up, but here's Mortimer once again in the spot he needs to be. He's going to loft this one to the far side of the box. Spartans now on the attack. Good defense there by the young freshman Jernigan. He's going to feed this one through to Kazan, and he can't get on the end of it because right there is Anthony Young, and he makes a great play. This is Weber. He'll go from well out. This one high into the crowd with pace, though. He shot that one from distance and had a good opportunity and a good eye at the goal. You'll see it right here from the goalie's perspective.
Yeah, nice one touch there. That one touch sets up for, and now he's going off. Might have some blood or something.
I don't know. It might be shaken up slightly.
But great touch by him. And you saw it doesn't take a lot, right? That was just a small little touch to that left foot. There wasn't a ton of space in front of him, but he knows we're going to have to let this fly. It's been tough sledding trying to go inside of that 18-yard box. Good shot. You mentioned it with pace, and it just sailed up. Didn't miss it by much.
Yeah, he went right over to the trainer. You can bet he's going to be back into the match as soon as possible. Junior Bills now trying to knock the ball back up to midfield. Can't quite do so. This one's won there by Costello. Ball at his feet. Nifty little move. Still battling for the ball. Costello pushes it forward now. Opportunity for the Spartans in through the slot that time. 3 players right there. Look at Chambers. He just stands there like a big rock. 2 players run into him. Referee's going to get back. Saladin causing problems, and his coach talked about him. He's the pest that he's the kid that you want on your team,
100%.
and you don't want to play against him.
Yep.
Everybody has a buddy like that and a friend, and you love to have that type of teammate because he brings the intensity, always around the ball, always buzzing. And if you're the opponent, you're like, man, this guy just won't go away.
By the way, great job on Chambers to come out of the line there. You know, he timed that well enough. Didn't hesitate. That's always key for those goalies on those balls. You cannot hesitate because if you do, instead of us talking about him being a pest with no results, we would have been talking about a pest with a goal there for DeSmet.
Rule checks back into the lineup for St. Louis U High. Didn't get the substitution for DeSmet, but
I believe it was Gavin Weber back in.
Yep, right back in. It is. Number 16, he's right on the ball right now.
He must have had a cut that was bleeding, and then that blood, they'll take him out. And That's why he came back in quickly.
Yep.
There's
Cleaned
a
it up
foul.
quickly. He went right over to the trainer. They looked at his leg, his knee area, I think. Smet now wins the free kick midfield, and they've got an opportunity to attack. This is Costello out here on the near side, Mortimer. He'll rush into the center of the park. He'll play this one to the corner, but Sosu had not made the run yet, and then once he started, the ball just had too much pace on it. He wasn't going to be able to track it down.
Yeah, and I saw, by the way, when that ball got knocked out, Landon Weber turned around immediately saying, hey, let's get up. We've got them pinned in the corner here. Let's see if we can get a high press here and force a turnover that leads to a chance.
Well, and they got an opportunity if they can win this right back. St. Lucie High deep in their own end. It is Costello. He does win that one. Flicks it to the middle of the park. This is Weber. He'll go back to Young, and now they'll just reload. Smith to Young. Right side now, Nicoletti in the attack. This is Klein. Nicoletti, right-footed boot. He'll low this one. Cross this low liner. This one across the turf. Pinballs around, deflected out of there by the Junior Bill defense. Not out of danger yet. Here's another opportunity to ground, but the Junior Bills, well, they wanted the counterattack. Referee's going to slow this one down with 1:45 remaining. Well, folks, what happens if we don't get a goal in the run of play as we watch this cross? Watch this one pinball around. Shot right there, and keeper was down low to the turf, but Junior Bill defense was there as Chambers now will run up and take this one. He's going to distribute it to the far side. This is Hammond.
That's the kind of bounce we're talking about, right? We said throw it to goal, just see if you get something that pinballs around. Almost led to a great opportunity for DeSmet there in the final 2 minutes.
This one goes between the two defenders. Young easily goes back to get it, puts it back to midfield. St. Lucie High wins it there. 1:10 remaining here in the contest now in regulation time. Well, we started talking about it. Should this go into overtime, you will have two 15-minute periods in a situation where the first goal wins. You score, it's over. We've seen that happen in championship play time and time again. Should it still be knotted at 0-0 after that 30 minutes, then we will go to a penalty kick shootout. DeSmet, the last time they won the championship, one of the longest penalty kick shootouts I have had the opportunity to be part of in these championship games. Sosu's going to be called for the foul there. Barry went down. Sosu can't believe it.
Yeah, good call by our official. He wrapped that right arm around his chest there and kind of pulled him on the back there. He was trying to make it subtle, but the official or head referee in perfect spot to make that call.
Yeah, that's one of those you look at the camera. If you go back and had a slow-mo replay of it, you could see all the jostling and jogging that was going on. This one to the top of the box, headed away easily by Smith. Back to Salad, and he lays it off at St. Lucie High, and this is Hammond coming forward now, pushes into the offensive end. Here's a shot from well out. Well, there was the opportunity for Sanders inside 10 seconds. Boy, wouldn't that been the most opportunistic goal since Rockhurst did it last year against Park Hill South. Back to midfield, folks, knotted at 0-0 now. Well, it might be just what you'd expect at any given year between these two longtime rivals. On paper, looked like DeSmet would dominate this match. They won the two regular season games, the CBC tournament, and then the conference game by a total of 6-0. But St. Lucie High has hung in there, and Coach Mickler sent us that analysis at halftime, and he said simply, they're in the ball game, right? They're holding serve, as he put it. Just throw it at goal and see if you can get one. DeSmet not with that intensity, although we saw that ratcheted up a little bit in the second half. They just couldn't get anything on target.
Yeah, we did. We saw them try. Both teams have been held to long-distance shots. When they've tried to get something thrown towards goal, they've had to settle for shots from about that 20 to 25-yard range, and those are tough shots. You know, it's going to be hard to beat the goalkeeper from that range, but it's what they've had to settle for because both sides have been so sound defensively, clogging up that 18-yard box up the middle, blocking shots, and we've talked about it. It's probably going to take a shot that takes a pinball, or one misplay will be what could potentially be the difference when we get to overtime.
Yeah, we'll see. Is it going to be a moment of inspiration? Is it going to be somebody that has an unfortunate missed kick or something along those lines, somebody fall down? We'll see. Everything can happen in overtime. Folks, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back on the other side of this one, we're going to have that overtime action. We hope you've enjoyed it so far. You are watching the 57th Annual Missouri State Boys High School Soccer Championships. This is the final match in all four classifications. It is an instant classic, so be sure to come right back. We'll be back with you in about 2 minutes. Well, you got to see the wonderful time lapse of these soccer championships right there, right here from Hunter Stadium at Lindenwood University. They've been a fabulous host for all these championships throughout the week. Again, started with Valley Park winning Class 1, their first ever in school history. Then Clayton wins their first one in school history in Class 2. Earlier today, Ladue, their first ever in Class 3. One of these two teams is going to win another one. Is it going to be number 7 for DeSmet or number 4 for St. Louis U High? And partner, it's all for the playing right now, and SLUH has done exactly what they wanted to do the entire match.
Yeah, they really have. They've been so sound defensively, right? They've been fantastic on the defensive end, and then they've had some success when they've been attacking, when they're going left to right here to start overtime on this near side. That's where they've had the success. They're trying to drive the play. They're in the final 10 minutes. They started to go up the middle a little bit where they were finding some success, but they just haven't been able to get a quality look inside that 18-yard box. But the same can be said for DeSmet because they haven't had any quality looks so far here yet in tonight's contest.
And you had a great basketball analogy for me talking about DeSmet's attack.
Yeah, when you look at DeSmet's attack, you were talking about on the broadcast here earlier, yesterday in the semifinal, really driving play up that middle, really attacking the goal. But tonight, just picture a long three-point line around the goal there that they're attacking because everything, they've been able to get it in from the outside a little bit, but when they've been trying to attack up the middle, they've been held to basically right around 25 yards away from goal. All their shots that they've tried have been from distance. Neither side's made a mistake yet. We'll see. You got to play flawless now because one goal will give the other team the championship.
Yeah, that's the championship. Surely here's Weber now. He'll play the square ball over here to the near side. This is Mortimer. The Smet playing a lot of the same players throughout the entire match. Both teams with some substitutions, but they're going to go with the players that brought him here. And here's Suso on the left side, puts it on his left foot, tries to save it from going out of bounds. He does. U-High defense comes back. They're going to knock it over the sideline here. If you're DeSmet, though, and you talk about game plans, well, one area of their play that has been stellar, it's that back line. St. Louis U-High, really, they're not getting a lot of great opportunities in that goal box either because those back four have been just awesome, including the two center backs in Young and Smith.
Yeah, they've been really good. Nice ball played here.
Well, nifty little play by Klein as he tries to undress the defender, knocks him down. That'll be a foul. The official on the far side rose his flag very quickly, and freshman Jernigan's a little slow to get up. He's going to be all right. His goalkeeper Chambers said, okay, I'm a sophomore, you're a freshman. I don't even know if we should be out here, but get your butt over there and keep playing. So some leadership from the goalkeeper. Love that one.
By the way, another good ball by Nicoletti. He's been fantastic from his back position. When he gets up and tries to help on the attack, he's played the ball into perfect spots there. We're going to get another foul here. Chance SLUH might be able to play this one into the box if they get some of the guys up here in the 18.
Yeah, we'll see. This is a dangerous position. Of course, you mentioned Nicoletti on the opposite side coming forward, wing back position. Out on this side, it's been Mortimer, and that's where DeSmet's had their best opportunities, on the outsides with those backs coming forward. It's a left-footed boot towards the top of the box, right into the teeth of the defense. Smet will gobble this one up here. Smith, he plays this one along the turf to Sosu. We'll try and push that one forward, ridden out of bounds. St. Louis U-High with the throw-in now. This is a short throw-in. This is Wolf. One-on-one, couple of defender, or one-on-one with one defender. Tries to get past the second one. He'll just step on it. Lays it back out to Chalmers. Opposite side. That was Byrne. His kick, not where he wanted to be. Nicoletti intercepted that one easily, and he'll go to Weber. Here's the catalyst. Let's see if he can't get something started.
Felt like he had a quiet second half there. Very effective in half number one, but SLUH did a good job marking him up in the second half.
Just a little bit too heavy down this near line that time from Mortimer. He saw Sosu. They look at each other. They're like, okay, we know what we're doing right now. Next time around, let's see if we can't hook that particular play up. Not a lot of movement for St. Louis U-High on these throw-ins, and so it's causing some issues. Hobby comes back to get that one, flicks it on, and here's Brady Smith. Anthony Young. 2 15-minute overtime periods. Teams will switch sides if no one scores in this first one. Then we'll play a second stanza. The team scores. They are the instant champion. This one into the hole. This is Saladin. He creates a nice space for himself, lays it off. Costello, one more time out here to the near side. Sosu wants it, overlapping run this time for Mortimer. Here's Weber. Into the middle. Klein with an opportunity now. He'll slot that one through. That's the type of pass he was so good at yesterday. Junior Bills now, they'll launch a long one. Nobody really there for them. Right into the teeth of the defense. This one's going to go all the way down to Jackson Keys, and he's well off his line, but has that under control. This is Smith. Mortimer to Weber. And Smith once again. I like the crispness into the Smet pass, but we're going to get an offside call here in this overtime.
Boy, it's interesting. They keep trying to attack here on the near side. Now, why do I say that that's interesting? Because what they're trying to do, they're trying to go after Andrew Chalmers. I think he's been fantastic. The 5'11 junior, he's been solid. He's been on the call when they keep trying to go after him. They haven't beat him yet, but this is the one side they keep trying to go after, and they have not been successful yet.
Tyemza was out here for a while. Susu came back into the match. We saw also Costello playing out here on this near side in that second half. Middle of the park now, that's Byrne. He's going to play a square ball. This is the freshman. Jernigan, why am I continuing to say that? Because he's the only freshman that's playing for either one of these two teams.
One of the very few freshmen on rosters for the Final Four teams here at Class 4.
This one driven into the turf, crossed the box, headed away nicely, and now here's Sosu. He'll play this one forward now to Smet with an opportunity to break it out. Junior Bills get back in numbers. That was Byrne. Now here's Wolf. Wolf had a nice run earlier down the right side that may have created St. Louis U High's best chance on the shot by Kazan that went just high up over the bar.
And Wolf had nowhere to play that ball. If you looked into the middle, you kind of see it on the top of your screen. No SLUH player anywhere near the 18-yard box.
Here's Saladin controlling the ball one-on-one with the defender. Now he's going to push it to the left side. Tries to beat another one, can't quite do so. And there he is once again. Chalmers, you talked about it. He made a nice play there. A couple players battling for the ball, and Costello wins that one. He knocked Javi off of it, and now they'll play it forward. This is Gavin. Face up on the defenders. We're going to get a foul. Hammond stepped right in front of Gavin Weber. And fans might have wanted a yellow card on that one. It was hard to the turf, but look at this opportunity. We saw a goal scored earlier in the Ledoux-Vianney match from a very similar type position on a set piece. It's just at the opposite goal. Well, Weber, and he may have a go of it here as well.
Yeah, partner, a smart decision there to slow this up. Partner, why do you come out defensively and have to really jump him? It's because he shot that one near the end of that second half. So you've got to be aggressive, and he does a nice move to get the foul.
Weber's asking for another yard off of the bone. The referee's saying play on. Well, you can mark it off with the 10 yards because we're on a football field. The referee actually gave them about another half a yard defensively, maybe. A lot of the fans hollering about that one, but pretty easy to do. 10 paces is supposed to be 10 yards. Just use your hash marks. And I know sometimes American football players don't want to translate anything to soccer, and soccer players or world football players don't want to translate anything to American football, but you got a tool, use it.
That one's easy to count off 10 yards.
My 53-year-old brain can still do that math. Here we go now to the opposite side, and Jernigan will track that one down. Miskicks it slightly, climbs right there to gobble it up. Now here's the attack, and DeSmet has some players forward. This one to Saladin, to Sosu. Nifty little move by him to beat the defender. Left-footed shot, boy, and he put it just wide. Well, he tried to place that one near post, and he knows he missed the opportunity that time. And maybe DeSmet's best one here, but watch this move right here. Whoop! And nifty little play. Puts it on his left foot. He tried to curl it around the keeper, but never really got it on frame, and Chambers really didn't have to flinch in the goal mouth.
Yeah, very good move by Sosa. That's a tough move, by the way. Really, he caught that ball with that right foot, and then he's able to kind of caress it and spin it around. Best opportunity we've seen from DeSmet, I'd say probably all game.
Really, since that shot that we saw from Gavin Weber, my partner mentioned just a moment ago, Tanner, that was from distance. Now here's Landon, and this time he tries to work his way into the box, launches it high up over the bar as well.
Another good opportunity there for DeSmet. That was a really good ball played forward right to the foot there. And again, these the Weber brothers, they don't need a lot of space to get a shot off, and he saw it again right there.
Highly skilled players. We talked about them at the top of the broadcast. Played for the academies, both of them did. Came back to DeSmet. Landon last year, now Gavin is in the program as well for Coach Klein, and boy, what a gift those two have been for him. They've been part of obviously the centerpiece of what they've done this season, along with that great back line defensively. Midfield now. This is Gavin. You see that tape around his knee. That's where he might have had a skid from the turf and drew a little bit of blood. A little bit of space now for DeSmet to attack and push the envelope here. This is your through ball to Sosu in the box. Knocked down. Referee, that's not going to be a call. That's a good no call.
Once again, Chalmers the one that makes that play. Oh, nice job to step in front here.
Now here it is. Boy, that might be a yellow card. That will be a yellow card for Costello. And Sanders was taken down from behind. Costello will go to the bench. Second yellow card here in the contest. The 2 juniors for Smet. Gavin Weber and Zach Costello will get those. So Costello will have to go off here momentarily. Expect to see him back in this one before too long. I believe that's McManus that came back on for him. Now the Junior Bills. One thing it did do was thwart a pretty good opportunity for St. Louis U High.
And, I don't know if he necessarily had to do that because DeSmet had numbers back. It looked like it was a 2-on-3, 2-on-4, so maybe just try and keep yourself in that play, run side by side with him, but commits the foul, gets the yellow, getting set off, and now it's a great opportunity for SLUH to play a ball in the box.
Hammond will chip this one in towards the 12-yard spot, headed away easily by Smith. Back out towards midfield. This is Saladin. To Landon Weber. He'll do a little spin turn, center circle now, and he'll look to distribute out the right side. This is a nice ball by him, down to the corner flag. Klein looks to launch it. Boy, the defender sold into the box. Is that going to be a takedown shot? Keep it right there. Rebound. Referee's going to say no on the penalty. Interestingly enough, the guy that got right back up was the player that got taken down. He didn't complain one little bit, but let's watch it once again. Nifty little play there. And he did not make one bit of complaint. Looked at the referee momentarily. Referee said play on. He got right up and went. A lot of times if it's really a foul, that player will complain profusely, and he went right at it. Other side now. Here comes DeSmet defensively, and they'll gobble that one up.
Yeah, I think what happened there, I don't think he got the ball, but I also don't think he got the player. I think when he went down to that slide challenge, you just saw the DeSmet attacker there lose his balance and go down the box. I think it's a good no call.
Nifty play by Sanders, but again, you're going to try and get right through the teeth of that defense with Smith and Young in there, and it's going to be awfully tough.
And, I will say this, too. If you're not 100% sure in overtime in the state championship game as our head official, you can't blow the whistle. So much on the line here to get that state championship. It's got to be clear. It's got to be obvious if you're going to call something inside the box.
And you go down and you put the pressure on the referee. You're going to make the call, or aren't you? And if he doesn't make it, you get right back up and play. Now, here's a nifty little play to Wolf. He'll slot this one across on a deflection off his line, his Keys. Well, Keys has not been tested a ton, but he's got to be on his toes, and that time he was. Now he's going to launch a long throw over here. And Weber's going to bring it quickly into the offensive end, one-on-one with the defender, still with the ball at his feet, left-footed shot. He'll take it. Oh, it rings off the crossbar, then it hits the football crossbar and goes over the top of the goal, but sometimes that action looks a little more crazy. But watch this one. It skids the crossbar, the soccer crossbar, and then off of the football crossbar. And that's one of those where it hits the net and the place goes nuts. You don't realize that it went over the top.
That was a heck of a shot by Weber because he did not miss that by much. And I kind of, in the back of my mind, partner, he didn't hit the runner out wide. He's been doing that all game. I kind of wondered if he was going to try and make a move up the middle. And you saw, again, very little space, and he gets that shot off with pace and almost was able to pick that upper 90 on that far side post.
Yeah, he's skilled enough and intelligent enough to say, I set that up the whole game by continuing to distribute to the outside, and then all of a sudden when I get the opportunity, well, this time I'm going to take it. So we've seen him do that twice now in the overtime. He wants to end this thing, and he wants to do it in good style. Far side for the Junior Bills. This is Jernigan. He'll play it forward. Trying to battle for it. He'll deflect and go out of play. DeSmet will win the ball. Weber will give way on that throw, and Nicoletti will take it. 3.5 remaining in first overtime period. No one has left Hunter Stadium here at Lindenwood University. Good distribution down the line. Here's a little bit of speed. Hammond's going to come over. He can't clean it up, though. Klein still in the mix. Now Hammond does work his way around Klein. He'll push this one forward. There's a little give and go. U-High is going to take the air out of it, though. They want a long run. They're going to push this one up the middle, and that's Rule, who just checked back into the match again. His role when he comes in is to really put pressure on the defensive line and really do as much running you can in a short amount of time until you can't breathe anymore. I mean, really cause some problems. And we see him, and again, he's got great fitness, but you can only do that for a short amount of time. Now here's a good build-up for DeSmet to his left foot. Will he distribute? He does. Out here to the near side. Good run by Gavin. Makes it to Mortimer, and he's one-on-one with the defender. It's knocked away. Good play there by Wolf. Andrew Wolf coming back from his forward position. St. Louis U-High, nearly everybody behind the ball, save one player. Here's Sosu. Ooh, goes through the defender's legs, chip back towards midfield. Smith will be right there to grab that one.
You know, partner, I think we're really starting to see both sides in the midfield starting to wear down a little bit. A lot of minutes on those legs.
A lot of space.
You've seen a lot of space open up.
Good play on that far side by Hassemeyer. He's also back behind the ball. St. Louis U High strategy now is to make sure that you defend. They're only leaving one player up there, and that's Rule. He's tracking the ball right now, so they've got nobody at the forward line. No chance for a counterattack, really. This one tipped away. We're going to get a foul now. This is going to be a great opportunity, 20 yards from the goal line.
Here's the replay of that foul. I don't know about
waited
that
a minute.
one.
He was giving them advantage, and
almost looked like lost his balance almost. He did kind of fall between two players. It gave the impression that maybe he got tripped up. Tough call for our head official, and boy, now a great opportunity for Smet to just end this game right now. No need for a second overtime when you've got a free kick here from about 20 to 21 yards out.
Well, let's see if Weber doesn't try and end it right here and pinpoint one, upper 90, lower corner on one of these two. In fact, no, it was going to be Gavin. He's going to step away from it. Now Costello's going to come forward. They're going to talk over this opportunity just a little bit.
SLUH going with 5 players on the wall.
So big brother deferring to little brother on this one. He'll chip it in up over the top of the bar. Well, he went for it that time, and he might have had Chambers beat, but it wasn't on frame, and you get an opportunity here.
And we'll get the perspective from behind the net here. See
an
it
opportunity
here.
to see exactly what Chambers saw. Boy, that was dipping all the time. Went right between the two
Looked like
bars.
Chambers read that one pretty well, though. Looked like he was right there if needed, but again, you're right. Didn't miss that one much. We've seen a couple of opportunities from both Weber brothers here in this first overtime.
Well, folks, that'll end the first overtime period. 0-0 still in this one. We are locked in a battle, folks. Well, it's not the Jesuit Cup. It's the state championship. I don't know which one would mean more to these two teams. I think this trophy would for sure, and both teams are going to go back to the respective benches. They're going to get one more time to talk strategy through a run of play, but a lot more opened up, and Smet had definitely more chances in that overtime period.
Yeah, I think you're really starting to see the minutes starting to wane on these players, because after that, we've played 95 minutes of soccer right now, and some intense soccer too. There hasn't really been anything easy for them. And for Smet, you're starting to see it. The Landon Weber and his brother Gavin Weber, those two players don't need a lot of space, but as this game starts to open up, those are the players SLUH's going to have to keep an eye on and marking, because we saw both Weber brothers didn't miss the one and only goal that's required to win this one. Both sent it over the bar and got it over the bar and right underneath that crossbar there on the field goal upright there. So that doesn't mean they've missed by much. So if you're SLUH, you're going to have to mark them again for 15 minutes. Can you see if you can stop them and make sure you get back and defend as a unit?
I got a note from Coach Schmickler. He said, anybody's ball game, flip the coin.
Yeah.
And so that's how he's looking at it this one. One opportunity is all it takes. The Webers have tried to make that one glorious opportunity on a fabulous goal. We'll see if they don't continue to be the catalyst. They're going to switch sides now. Smet will move from left to right, St. Louis U High from right to left. And, again, no factor from an environmental standpoint, meaning the wind is very, very light. If anything, temperatures have dropped. Now we're close to 40 degrees. Actually, we've only dropped a degree since the start. We're at 44 degrees. So
that
that's
impacts
not
us
going to
broadcasters more than them.
Oh, yeah, 100%. It impacts the fans more than it impacts the players out there. They are revved up and ready to go. But I like what Smet did in that first overtime period, pushing the ball forward, and they're taking some opportunities now, continuing to try and test the sophomore goalkeeper from St. Louis U High.
Yeah, and again, it's coming from distance as well. So what SLUH's doing, they're doing a good job still on their back line and making sure. I mean, we talked about kind of that three-point arc as I would draw it out from around the goal. They're still doing a good job of keeping things from distance from Smet, but as that space starts to open up, we've seen it. The Weber brothers have a good shot, and if your SLUH High got caught kind of back in your own end of the field, didn't really generate much themselves, as we saw in that second half. SLUH High started to go kind of toe-to-toe with Smet on counterattacks, building the attack, working up the middle, but in overtime there, they got a little bit caught on their end of the field, didn't hold as much possession. We'll see if that's something that they try to adjust to for this second overtime period.
Yeah, I got to like one more thing, though. Late in that overtime period, right before that shot that went over the bar, the young sophomore goalkeeper stepped forward He stepped forward, he slowed down things, went to the referee and said, talk to me about the foul. That's a veteran move. Allowed his defense to get set. It was going to be a set piece anyway, but he took complete air out of everything. So you got to give that young man a lot of credit. Now, both teams, they're in respective huddles. They got it all to play for here in the second overtime period.
Again, it just takes that one goal. Right now in overtime, it's sudden death. It just takes one goal. You go home as a state champion, and I'm sure both coaches said, hey, 15 minutes. Everything we've got, we just need one goal here, because you know neither side on that field wants to go to penalties, because that's just a guessing game, and neither side wants that. You want to talk about a 50-50 coin.
That's a true flip of the coin for
yeah,
sure. But we saw the shootout. You covered the shootout last night in the Class 3 semifinal match, and the Smet, of course, last time they won, it was a shootout. It was one of the longest shootouts I've ever been part of. They eventually came away victorious. So Coach Klein knows how to coach those up for sure, as Javi will stand over it. He'll distribute it back, and it's still, to the life of me, I've never understood the long ball when every team in the business does it, and it rarely works.
I'm with you there, partner. It's an easy way to start with possession, right? And instead you just try for the overlapping run, while DeSmet, or whoever it is you're going up against, has like 6 guys back there to defend against it.
This one high up in the air. Hammond misjudged it. Does get his head on it, but it goes right to DeSmet. This is Klein on the attack on the right side. Tries to work his way past the defense. Can't quite do so. This is Sanders. Let's see if SLUH doesn't try and play a little more possession. DeSmet was really on the front foot in that first overtime. Junior Bills now with a great opportunity. They've got 4 players forward, 6 for DeSmet along that back line. Smith comes across. He's going to touch it over the sideline on that far side. Haven't really seen the Junior Bills with one of those long throw-in
neither side's really had
snipers,
a long
if you will. And neither one, yeah, we saw that earlier, and actually in all 3 of the matches earlier today, both the third-place games and in the Class 3 final, but we have not seen one of those here. Let's see what they do with Chalmers coming forward. Nope, it's a low liner across the turf, and Costello easily gets that one. SLUH tracks it down, 40 yards from the goal. Now they're in the offensive end. Near side, Hassemeyer deflects it off of Nicoletti, gives it away, and now Nicoletti. Let's see if he wants to get into the attack. He's been very good at doing that. Instead, he'll give away to Klein. Into the hole to Saladin, intercepted there by Hammond. He's going to go all the way back to his goalkeeper. Well, 13 and a half minutes remaining here, second overtime period. 1 goal now will be the difference for sure. Good play by Javi. Now this one's going to go all the way down to the box. Good play by the keeper. He easily came off his line. Keys anticipated that from the very giddy up. No way that the offensive player is going to get on the end of it.
Yeah, good job. I'm not going to lie. I panicked for a second because I didn't see him out of the corner of my eye take off, and I went, oh, boy. Smet just letting that one roll all the way through, because I knew the SLUH player would get to it if he didn't come off his line.
Sometimes that's just a product of playing together for a long time. Here's Weber. Looks things over, ball on his left foot. That's where he wants it. Let's see if he has a go. Nope, he's going to chip it through. Sosu, shot, rings it off the top of the bar. And the flag was up, though. It'll be offside. Well, boy, oh boy, that was almost the moment of inspiration. What a chip pass from Weber here. It was offside, but let's watch it. Chips it in and then rocked off the upper 90.
Wow. What a ball by Weber, by the way. I know it was offsides, but that perfect chip pass right there on the foot.
It was, and Sosu didn't make any bones about it. I'm one-timing this bad boy right at the goal, and that's what DeSmet was so good at versus Rockhurst last night. Here it is on the right side. We'll get a foul now. Dangerous opportunity in the St. Louis U High Junior Bills with a restart. They were going to rush forward and try and take that one quickly, but I think if you're them, you really got to set up this opportunity. True set piece here now. This is Wolf. Andrew, 2 assists on the season, 5'8" junior. Junior Bills are going to keep 4 defenders back as well, 3 behind him and 1 to the left. So they're only going to commit 5 players forward. Here's Jernigan, though, on the square ball, on his left foot. He's going to have a go from well out. Deflects all the way back out to Weber near midfield. And here comes Costello with a nice interception. He wants to go forward. Pushes it out here on this near right side. Can he track it down before it goes out of bounds? No, good hustle that time from Klein. And referee's going to allow a substitution to come in now for St. Louis U High.
Try to keep that ball in on that outside. DeSmet, when they got that turnover, I didn't mind the idea by SLUH High originally. Come out wide here, see if maybe get a ball in from the outside, swing it in. But then when they turn that ball over the middle of the field, 4-on-4 for DeSmet, Luckily for the Junior Billikens, that ball passed a little bit too far out wide, and it gives them a throw-in.
Yeah, if you're going to go with the short ball, you got to execute the next pass, and Jernigan not quite able to do so. Kazan checks back in. Of course, the 25 shirt, we saw him earlier. Maybe St. Louis U High's best chance just went high up over the bar to the opposite side of what they're shooting at right now. He's back in there now playing that target forward position. That was a one-time shot by him as well. Try to target him, as we mentioned, knocked out of play. This will go to DeSmet. Spartans looking for their 7th title in school history, that 2019 title that was won in penalty shootouts. Of course, they won it in 11 as well. And these two teams did battle back in '95 for the state championship. Coach Klein with one title to his credit, all the rest to their longtime and legendary coach Greg Vitello. This one knocked out of play, and that'll result in a corner kick now for the Junior Bills. That'll be their first one of the overtime period. Full throat over on the other side, both of those student bodies, but a little tension in the air for sure.
Opportunity here on this corner kick. We'll see what they want to do, where they want to place it. We've seen once or twice they've lined up like this short one, played it once, but when they went to cross it, it got blocked.
Well, one of the things that does is draw a few of the defenders out of there. They will go with the short one. This one is launched back towards the 6-yard box. Scramble for the ball in the box. Here's an opportunity for Hammond, and he hits it high and wide. Couldn't quite get around on it. Now he's got a little bit of a cramp. Referee's going to allow them to slow it down a little bit.
Boy, and I wonder if Hammond maybe started to cramp up when he went to go hit that ball. He was kind of chopping his feet, never really got that timed up.
Great bit of sportsmanship here, too. Full credit to Costello for stepping in here and trying to stretch this young man out. And again, I was talking in that first championship match about the referee blowing it dead and stopping it for an injury. He's going to do it again here, and I was not correct in saying that he has to come off. If the trainers come on, then he's supposed to go off, which we did see in that match earlier. And let's see if he's going to have to go to the bench.
That's going to be doesn't look like the refs force him off. I do wonder if SLUH High might take him off just for a split second because he's cramping up. Don't want him to cramp up and go down once again, and it be something that ends up affecting the outcome of the game.
Well, he is still right in there. He's going to go back to his position in the center of defense. Square ball now for DeSmet. But great show of sportsmanship as well. Stella went over to help him out, stretch him out a little bit. And that's what had long game now. I mean,
we're 100 minutes in, if my math is correct.
That's correct. On a chilly night. And you start these seasons in August. Degrees can reach well over 100 degrees, and then the heavy humidity, and then you go all the way now to late November, and it's cold outside. We're in 40-degree weather, and now we got two players. They collided. They're both down, and I believe that is Hammond once again. And I think he's going to have to come off. He collided that time with Klein, and yeah, that is Hammond. He's going to come off. You're going to get the opportunity to see it right here.
Yeah, there's that challenge. He was a little bit late getting there to Klein.
I think he might have taken one up towards the noggin as well, and he's stretching out that leg again. But they're gonna have to call the trainer out this time and bring him off. St. Louis U High will get a substitution ready, but it's hard to replace that young man. One of the captains, 6'3". I don't think you can always just pull a player with his size and his skill right off of the bench.
No. Yeah, the good news.
Sanders, fellow captain.
That.
Yep.
Looks like cramping only, which is the good sign. They're stretching him out. But, yeah, again, on that challenge, just a little bit late on that step. Now it's going to lead to a great opportunity here for DeSmet. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is going to be a ball that's 35 yards out. That's shooting range for DeSmet in this one.
It is in this one. So Sanders has been tasked by his coach to go back. I think he's going to play the center back spot now, the number 10 shirt. And it looks like it is. Hassemeyer's going to come back on. He'll probably play in Sanders' position. Good to see Hammond walking off under his own power, but he's going to have to get the trainer and get that stretched out, maybe rubbed really quick, see if he can get back into this one. 8:51 remaining, so there's still a lot of time, but DeSmet would like to close that time down right now. So Saladin's going to stand over this one. 6 to the opposite side of the box. You got Nicoletti. Dominic is on the right side here. And then you've got Costello right there just to the left. This one chipped to the box, mixed in there, battled for, headed out of there. Sanders, who just went back to play defense, now has it on the right side trying to break out. He's got nobody forward, so he's just going to lift this one long down the line. Veteran play by not putting it out of bounds, but just to make the defense backtrack and allow your team to get their shape. That's Hassemeyer on the far side for the Junior Bills back in there defending. Good distribution. That was Weber to Sosu. Sosu full stretch now into the offensive end. He's going to play that square ball, gets it behind. And this is Landon Weber. Straight up to Sosu, wants a give and go, tries to get it back, pinballs around. St. Louis U High gets it again. They don't have any players forward to try a counterattack. They're going to play it out here to the near side and now down to the corner. Kazan now battling with Young. Young with a nice play, still battling for it. Kazan wins the ball. As Young seemed to slip down. Now a through ball, and this is Javi to the left side of the box. Does he have an opportunity? He's got nobody there, cuts it back. He'll launch one. That's low on the turf, and a great block there. Well, Costello with a fabulous play. He got beat as he kind of slid. Nice move by Javi to cut it back, and then when he launched it towards the goal, he gets it blocked. And watch this right here. Great defensive play, and that's really what the Smet has been all season long, and it was the junior that time.
Great play by Javi, too. Cut that back. Knew that was the only way to get a shooting lane, but as you said, that was a great job to get back and slide and block that on the shot attempt. And we got another DeSmet player down cramping.
Yep.
I mean, again,
Nicoletti this time. We saw him grabbing his leg after that last play, and he just made that header, knocked it out of bounds. Referee's going to give him the opportunity now to stretch it out.
Again, we're surpassing 100 minutes. You know, you don't typically do this in the regular season, so this is kind of something that just kind of happens once in a blue moon, and these guys have been going hard at it all night. This has been fantastic soccer to watch here in the Class 4 state championship, and these guys have been going hard. It's been a physical game, but it's been a clean game, and we're starting to see the guys really cramp up here. So 7:19 to go. We'll see if we get a winner or if we're going to need penalty kicks to determine who's going to be the Class 4 state champion.
Well, and both of these teams, neither one of them a stranger to overtime games in the postseason. 3-2 double overtime win for DeSmet against Lindbergh in that quarterfinal, and then in the district final for St. Louis U High against John Burroughs. They had to win that one in penalty shootouts 3-2. So both of these teams very adept at winning this one in the extra frame. This one goes forward now to DeSmet with an opportunity. Here's Saladin, 7 minutes left, back to the defender, puts a heel ball. Good little play by Weber there to keep possession now. He weaves his way with a little dipsy-do right towards midfield. Another good spin turn, and now another one. Still with the ball at his feet. Well, great wizardry from him, and then Sosu's knocked off of it all the way back to Smith. This is Gavin Weber now. Front stretch into the box, knocked away by the defense, shot along the turf, and never really got on frame, nor did it threaten. You know, you love to see this great action in all these championships and the build-up as Rule's going to come back in for St. Louis U High. He's going to be their forward, but boy, this one, it's been good action. Neither team, though, really had that great opportunity. The goalkeepers, they've been tested slightly in terms of making sure they're on their toes, but neither one of them had to make that big-time great save.
Yeah, we've seen opportunities, but some have just sailed too high. Goalies, they've been on their toes, but we'll see if maybe one of them is called upon here in the final 6 minutes. I could see where we need one big save partner to get us into penalty kicks for one of these sides.
You might just be right. That one was a little bit of a miss kick a moment ago. Deflected and went out of play. DeSmet got the throw, and now they got possession. This is Costello right in front of the Junior Bill bench. Weaving his way past a couple of defenders, still with the ball at his feet, works it to the side of the box. Now here's Klein. Nifty little move for him. Tries another move. Still battling with the defense, and SLUH defender gets it all the way back to midfield. That's Smith to Nicoletti. Now Nicoletti well up into the attack here once again. He's been very effective doing that this evening. Tries a square ball. It's going to go out the other side and drift. Javi will track that one down. Now he wants to go forward. He's got the pace to beat most defenders. That'll be a foul there on Sosu. He's got to be careful. He pushed him from the side there. Pretty obvious to see all the way across the field from our vantage point. Referee was in good position. He was going to let them play possession momentarily, but then he said, no, we'll blow that one dead. Slow it down, and Carson Hall will go over to take that free kick right at midfield.
That's a little bit of a blessing in disguise here for SLUH High because they didn't really have numbers forward. Now they can get numbers forward on this free kick.
That one headed right back into the turf. Here's Wolf. Wolf, center of the park. Will he have a go? No, decides not to. Opportunity now as they kind of pass that one in the middle. That was Bubba Berry, and Didn't go to anyone on his side. Now Weber wants to go the other way. He's heads up, looking to go full stretch with some pace into the offensive end. Gives it off to Saladin. Jack with a nice play to keep possession. Keep it away from the defender, still with the ball at his feet. Slots it through, but good defense. And now coming forward to Smet to try and win that one, but he's unable to. That was Mortimer, but Smith cleans that one up easily. To Klein. Klein flicks it to the backside and thought maybe Saladin was making that run, but Jack was just a little bit too far away to get to it. Wolf now to midfield. He's got Jernigan on the outside, Hassemeyer on the outside. Wants to leave it, doesn't do so. He's knocked down, and that'll result in a throw-in now for DeSmet. Saladin comes back nicely to play defense. Here's Costello. Smith surveys the situation. Beautiful ball down that left side. Tries to get it to Sosu. Good defense there. Knocking it away, albeit momentarily, was Chalmers. Thought he might have had another touch on it, but it went awry and went out of play. Now to Smet. Quick restart on the throw-in now. To the side of the box. Junior Bill defense right there. A couple players to the floor. And we're going to keep rolling here with the ball. A couple players down, but they're going to get back up. SLUH. There's a pass in the middle. Well, the Hill tried to get that one. It looks like somebody's going to need a sub for St. Louis U High.
I think that might be Barry.
Yeah, Barry's cramping up or something on his side, or he's hurt. And they want to run the play here. Here's Hassemeyer. He's got the ball at his feet. Intercepted there. Good play by Nicoletti to step in. And, oh, they're dangerous now. Here's Klein. This is where he's oh so good and was great yesterday. Gets it quickly to Weber. Weber works his way to the top of the box. He'll have a shot from the left foot, and this will whistle wide of the target. Boy, I like his intent on that one. Where am I going to do? But he's got to get that on goal.
Yeah, good touch there. You saw him go to that little, you'll see here on this replay. Good pass right there. Does a nice move, cuts to the right there, and look at this, right there. Creates that shot there, shooting lane, but he couldn't wrap his foot around. You can see what he's trying to do, bend it towards that back post. Got the good touch that he needed, but again, like you said, couldn't wrap that foot around. You really want to, with that opportunity right there, want to see if you can test the keeper a little bit more than that.
Schumann and Kazan check back in at the forward positions for St. Louis U High. Smet now down that far side. This is Weber. His touch fails him slightly there as it goes out of play. We're just 2 minutes remaining now, 2 minutes away from a penalty kick, and St. Louis U High crowd is on their feet. Petty Byrne getting them all riled up, the 5'9" sophomore. Junior Bills try to break out, unable to do so. DeSmet keeping the pressure on now. They get a ball here, deflected. Junior Bills. Here's Sanders now, passes that one forward. Kazan, he's been very good with the ball at his feet. Knocked off of it there. Suso right there, will deflect out of play. And that will go to the DeSmet Spartans right in front of their own bench. That's past Weber. Up in the air, 1:20 remaining now. This is Smith. Costello. He's knocked off the ball but stays with possession though. This is Klein, slots it through to Saladin. Hassemeyer. That one deflects and goes out of play. That'll go to the Junior Bills here, inside of a minute remaining. Now let's see if one of the two teams doesn't try and get a restart and a set piece. I think that's what you try to do here for St. Louis U High. See if you can get possession, draw a foul. This one flicked up in the air. Out of play. Now DeSmet with the opportunity. They want to get it quickly back in. Nicoletti says, I don't want to go into shootouts. Let's see if we can get a goal. Nice move by Klein. He gets past one defender. He's dangerous here on the right side now. Works his way to the box. Here's Saladin into the box. Well, he hit it right at the defender. And now with 28 seconds remaining, DeSmet's Mortimer has it at midfield. Let's see if he tries to set it up. Boy, he gives that one away. 20 seconds remaining. I don't know if there's enough time for SLUH to get it in the offensive end. There's not. Smith, 15 seconds. This is Costello. He'll launch one long. I like that from Costello. He's playing with the urgency. That's knocked away by Jernigan, and then we will go to the penalty shootout. 0-0. We're locked in the battle here, these two longtime rivals. We will go into that penalty kick shootout, all for the taking now. Well, Coach Mickler said it's a flip of the coin at the start of overtime. It's even a bigger flip of the coin. Maybe this will be a silver dollar flip of the coin. one of these two teams will be crowned the 2024 state champion. 32 years ago, they did battle in this state championship, and the Smet came out on top in that one, 1-0. We've got a 5-minute break. Both teams will be able to pick their first 5 kickers. They'll also get their next 5 ready, because if you're the Smet, you know how long that penalty shootout went back in 2019. And I don't know, I guess if you're thinking about it, maybe it's the poise of the seniors that gives them a little bit more of an advantage. St. Louis U High, though, they've already had to win one penalty kick shootout against a very good John Burroughs team. So that's how they had to win the district to get here. The Smet had to win a double overtime game against Lindbergh. I don't know that there's an advantage either way. Maybe you give it to the seniors and the senior goalkeeper, Jackson Keys.
Yeah, maybe you give that edge to them because, like you said, they've got the experience, they have the composure. And I think you really saw that in today's game. For the 2 halves and the 2 overtimes that we saw, the Smet, great composure. And you can see their student section right there on your screen. But, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if there is an advantage for them in this overtime period, because there's a lot of pressure right now. You know, it is just 5 penalty kicks, maybe more depending on how this thing goes. But this is, you know, everybody talks about goalies. The goalies are the ones that face the pressure in these penalty kicks, and they do because they have to try and make the save. But it's also tough for the guys that run up to take those PKs, because when you go to strike these balls, you've got to strike them with some pace. You've got to try and pick a corner. And as we saw in the Class 3 semifinals yesterday, all it takes is maybe one miss. Van Horn shot it over the crossbar, ended up having to play for the third-place game today because they weren't able to take care of business in PKs, and it should be really fun today. I'll be fascinated to know, partner, what the Smet decides to do with the Weber brothers. Do you want Landon Weber and Gavin Weber, who have been creating most of the offense tonight, some of the best goal scorers, got a great shot as we've seen today? Where do you put them in the shootout? Do you put them in early to try and put pressure on SLUH, or do you try and save them for the later part of this PK, just in case maybe you need someone to come through in the clutch for a big goal?
Well, both of these student bodies are going to bet they're going to go up behind the goal here at Lindenwood. St. Louis U High going to be the first one down there. The Smet Spartans all the way behind their own bench. You look at penalty kick shootouts, St. Louis U High, 3 penalty kicks. This is their 3rd of the season. They won 1. Actually, this is their 4th of the season. Won 2 of them when they defeated Lindbergh earlier in the year as well. We talked about the John Burroughs postseason game. And then they also lost earlier this season to Marquette. On to Smet side, the other end. This is their first penalty kick shootout of the season. So St. Louis U High is going to go down into the corner with their fan base. The Smet's going to stay right behind their own bench and say, we got your back. All for the taking here, though. You can't ask for anything more than that. I know some soccer aficionados would say, well, you don't like this in a football game or in a soccer game. And the world football fans would say, well, shootouts, no, but it makes for a lot of excitement. And, of course, you know, there's been 3 overtime games in these state championships and things like that. We're not going to have that here tonight, just 2 overtimes in that PK. So referees, of course, they'll give those goalkeepers the instructions as well. We'll get the list of the St. Louis U High players in just a moment. We'll get the list of the Smet players as well.
And the key for the goalies, you know, they can't move off their line until there's contact. That's why you kind of see them bouncing around, you know. And typically what you see is they kind of take that little tiny jump forward, and then they explode one way to the other. See if they can guess right here. You know, unlike at the collegiate level or at the professional level, you know, not a lot of video out there probably, I would assume, for a scouting report of which way are these guys going to go.
Sure.
So this truly is going to be a guessing game for these goalkeepers to try and come up with these big saves.
Well, you called a partner. Landon Weber will be the first one to take his kick. He'll go up to the penalty spot. It'll be the goal to our right. You see the perspective right now. That is the goal to our right, and you get the view from right behind the goalkeeper here. Both of these two teams with the opportunity to choose 5 strikers of the ball. Both goalkeepers, they cannot move forward on the line. They can move laterally on the line. And so Cole Chambers, the sophomore, will go in the goal for St. Louis U High. Again, a lot of training for that young man under his goalkeeper coach, but we also know that he is a big-time baseball player, and it'll be the senior against the sophomore for the first strike. Weber strikes it. Oh, he had a piece of it. He guessed right. But what a bullet that time from the captain into Smet. On top 1-0. Now the other side for St. Louis U High. This will be Wolf. Andrew Wolf, the 5'8 junior, 5 goals on the season. He'll come forward. He'll be the first one for St. Louis U High against the senior goalkeeper for DeSmet, Jackson Keys. Well, Chambers guessed right that time, partner, just couldn't handle it.
Yep, that's the pace we talked about. Got to hit it firm so you can beat the goalie in case he guesses right.
Well struck that time from Wolf. Now Saladin, he'll be the next one for DeSmet.
Boy, and he saw that hesitation. You'll see it here on this replay. That little hesitation right there. Maybe throws off the goalie a little bit. Great effort, though. Keys didn't really react to that little hesitation. Once again, both goalies guessed right. Now maybe puts a little bit more pressure on the strikers because I'm sure they're thinking in their head, oh, boy, I just walked up to this spot, and both goalies were close to denying the first penalty kick.
Well, here's DeSmet's goal scorer on the first tally yesterday against Rockhurst on that one-time strike. You know, he's a sniper, and he'll stand over this one. Again, Chambers that time. Textbook save for him. He's got the U-High fans on their feet in the far corner. What a save.
Here's the replay of it. You said textbook, and he described it perfectly. He guesses low, but look at the reaction there. He sees that he's guessed a little bit wrong. He's guessed on the right direction. So what's he do? He sticks up this left paw, as you're going to see. Guess right, realize it's a little bit up behind him. Good job, and that's a strong hand right there to make that save and make sure it doesn't go past him.
Strong personality now coming forward. It'll be Hassemeyer, the captain, and he gave his young goalkeeper a little dap as he walked away. He could put his squad up. Let's see if Jackson Keys can't come up big for DeSmet. Strike. Oh, he went the opposite way. St. Louis U High there on top now, 2-1 in this shootout.
Boy, and this is the spot you want to be in the PKs, right? You want to be the team that has the advantage at 2-1. Now all the pressure's on DeSmet. If you're SLUH High and you take care of business the rest of the way, even if you don't get a save, you will be crowned state champions. All the pressure now relies on DeSmet.
Klein will stand over this one. He assisted on both goals yesterday in the run of play against Rockhurst. Number 8 shirt. He'll bullets this one. He goes the opposite way of the keeper there, and he easily gets that one in there, 2-2. Now here's Sanders. He scored the goal for St. Louis U High yesterday in that semifinal, so he'll have the opportunity.
This is now a lot harder for Jackson Keys, right? Because the first shooter for SLUH High went left, almost made the save. Second shooter went right. Where's he going to go now?
I like the way Keys is in there, though. Makes himself big in the goal. Here's a slot the other way. He went the opposite way. 3-2, St. Louis U High after 3 rounds. Now Landon Weber will step up. Again, we saw him a little bit of a scratch on his knee earlier. We see that tape on that right leg.
Boy, this is almost must-score situation for DeSmet because goalie hasn't stopped the first 3. If a save is made or this is missed, SLUH just needs to score to win PKs.
Junior against the sophomore here on this one. Weber looks it over. He'll strike it, and Chambers with the save! Well, he's made 2 of them right now. I don't know if you're going to get an MVP in this game, but if they hold on to win this one, the young sophomore, we talked about his presence, goes low to his right side again.
And another great save. Not a lot of pace on that one. He was looking more for command was Gavin Weber. And you're right, partner. If you're going to hand out an MVP for this one, give it to the goalkeeper Chambers. If SLUH High can finish it off on this PK kick, a goal, and they will be crowned Class 4 state champions.
Well, almost an unbelievable championship for them. Coming forward to take this one now, it's Byrne. 7 goals on the season for Patty. He'll look things over. Strikes it, keeper with a save, and Keys comes up big. Byrne can't believe it. What a save from Jackson Keys.
First time he's dove to the left there to deny it, and good job, too, by the way. That ball may have had some spin on it to bounce back in. That would have been a goal, as you'll see it again here. Makes the first save. That's got spin. That will go back in if he just starts celebrating.
Big
good
time
job.
play. Big time play by the goalkeeper Keys. What a save by him, and what a great presence from him to knock that out of the goal on the deflection that went straight back up in the air with the backspin. Now Sosu will come forward. 3-2, St. Louis U High on top. He needs this one to keep it rolling. Here's a shot, up over the top. St. Louis U High, 2024 state champions as Sosu goes up over the bar. They rush the goalkeeper. They rush the far side of the field. Smet can't believe it. And St. Louis U High, with their 18th win in 2024, had defeated their longtime rivals, and they've ascended to the top of Class 4 in this one. They are your champions in unbelievable fashion in the shootout. We'll get an opportunity to see it here. He steps up to it. Chambers right there, and you watch Chambers. He dove to his left, but it went over the top of the bar. Chambers saw it all the way. Sosu can't believe it. He's going to be consoled by his coaching staff here in this one. Well, the last time Smet was here, they won it in a shootout. This time around, it's not to be for them. And St. Louis U High celebrates with the student body over in that far corner, as they are now your 2024 Missouri State Boys Class 4 state championship. If you would have said back maybe even at the beginning of the postseason which one of the teams from the Metro Catholic Conference is going to win this, well, three of them got to lock horns in the district. When you're Smet, CBC, and Chaminade, and you say, well, if one of those can come out of it, they might be your favorite. Smet makes it all the way here. They knock off Rockhurst. They had to turn up that intensity big time in the semifinals. They win it 3-1 going away. St. Louis U High, very tough district for them. They had to go into that penalty shootout, and maybe if there was a favorite, this is their fourth of the season. They've won three of them, and they won none bigger than this one. And the big-time save from the goalkeeper, the sophomore, Cole Chambers, saved two of them. He's getting a huge hug over on that far side. And for Smet, well, it might have been for the seniors. They started 9 of them. They're going to move on. A lot of those will go on to college to play ball. And tough loss for them. Never easy in these penalty kick shootouts. St. Louis U High wins this one 1-0.
Yeah, and you know what, partner? We mentioned it in the pregame when we started this broadcast. Would it be third time's a charm for SLUH High? They lost 4-0 earlier in the year. They lost 2-0 earlier in the year. This time they play a great all-around defensive game. Had a couple of opportunities when they generated, then they take care of business in PKs, and you're right. Shout out to Cole Chambers, the 6'1 sophomore goalkeeper, made 2 incredible saves in that PK, and then you've got Smet on that last opportunity. Sosu, he hesitated when he ran up there. He tried a couple of those little hesitation steps, and I think when he did that, took his balance off a little bit, and that's when he sails that one over the bar. Congratulations to SLUH High. We mentioned it too. Smet, it's tough to beat a team 3 times, no matter what the sport is, and tonight they just fall a little bit short of what's going to be a disappointing moment for those 9 seniors.
Good moment of sportsmanship by both of these two teams. They're going to walk back to their respective benches before the medal ceremony. But, you know, really I thought Chambers stepped up, and we mentioned it earlier in that overtime period, in that first overtime period, Smet with an opportunity on a set piece and a restart. Actually, it was a free kick 20 yards out, and he stepped up. He calmed everybody in that situation, and I thought, boy, there's a sophomore that just made a great move from a leadership standpoint to set his team at ease. What confidence he had, and he knocks down 2 of them to make the saves. Jackson Keys kept his team in it. The goalkeeper for Smet kept his team in it by making the save, but then one up over the top of the bar, and St. Louis U High wins this one 1-0 on the PK. They win the PK 3-2. And partner, been great championships all week long, but none more exciting, I think, than this Class 4 state championship. And a lot of times we see that the big boys go at it, and it's a slugfest. That's what it was here in the long-time rivalries. But we're going to sign off here in just a few moments. Your final thoughts as we get ready to turn it over to the PA announcer for the medal ceremonies, and you and I will step aside.
Just a great weekend all around. And, hey, shout out Lindenwood University stepped up big when the soccer park got kind of closed down because of the rain that came through here in St. Louis. Lindenwood steps up, allows us to get these events in. And a shout out to everyone at MSHSAA that was able to accommodate us, give us everything that we need, all the coaches that talked to us as well. Great weekend, great action. We saw 3 first-time champions, and then we also saw SLUH High take care of business here in what was a really fun game. And by the way, real quick shout-out to both those goalkeepers in Jackson Keys and Cole Chambers. We mentioned it in this game. They were not tested a lot, partner. They came into PKs. I don't think either one of them really made a save where a shot was really going to test them on goal. They came out. They performed really well. And, again, congratulations to all 4 teams that ended up winning their class championship, and congratulations to all 16 teams that ended up getting here today, or this weekend, I should say, to participate in this fun event.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better. That's a great shout-out. We, of course, want to thank Dr. Jennifer Ruckstad. She's going to give the trophy here in just a moment. And, of course, Marty Marsh, he's the head of soccer right here for MSHSAA. Andrew Kaufman's our communications director. He allows us to do these games. And then Scott Lunty, who is just such a great help. We want to thank all of them and all the folks that volunteered, the referees, everybody else, Lindenwood University, great job. And, of course, we want to thank our cameraman, Adam Baker. And then the man behind the scenes, of course, Michael Wagon Connect. He does a great job. He brought you all those highlights. He brings you all of the great sights and sounds and allows us to bring you that, to Smet what might have been. Of course, they'll get the second place trophy here in just a moment. I'm going to sign off here for my partner, Tanner Hendrickson, who I've called Hunter a number of times but did not do it in this match here today. My name is Matt Judkins, signing off once again. I don't know how many of these championships I'm going to do, but none very much more exciting than that one. St. Louis U High, they win their 4th championship in school history, the first for their head coach, Bob O'Connell, who ironically enough, is a Smet High School alumni, but he's going to be very proud of his team. We are now going to turn it over to the PAA announcer. We'll sign off from here. You've been watching all this great action on the MSHSAA.TV network.
And presenting awards for this game will be MSHSAA Executive Director Dr. Jennifer Ruckstead and MSHSAA Board Member Mark Lindeman, representing the St. Louis District. First, for our second place team, let's give a big round of applause for the Smet Jesuit Spartans as the team is presented with their trophies. Now for the individual medals. Head coach Josh Klein. Assistant coach Nick Hansen. Assistant coach Ryan Hodge. Assistant coach Rob Hutchison. Assistant coach Pat Middleton. Assistant coach John Roy. Assistant coach Jim Solis. Assistant coach Steven Seitel. And assistant coach Ben Yeager. And now the players. Number 00, goalkeeper Ben Gibson. Number 0, Kellen Mark. Number 1, goalkeeper Jackson Keys. Number 2, Evan Mortimer. Number 3, Anthony Young. Number 4, Trey Coleman III. Number 5, Brady Smith. Number 6, Michael Sullivan. Number 7, Dominic Nicoletti. Number 8, Bradley Klein. Number 9, Jack Saladin. Number 10, Landon Weber. Number 11, Sean Sosu. Number 12, Jack McManus. Number 13, Henry Nichols. Number 14, Daniel Greco. Number 15, Lucian Aaron. Number 16, Gavin Weber. Number 17, Zach Costello. Number 18, KJ Kahena. Number 19, Owen Tyhan. Number 20, Dresden Bressler. Number 21, Colin Davis. Number 22, Nolan Mark. Number 23, Evan Raymueller. Number 24, Thomas Becerra. Number 25, James Pinhasi. And number 26, Jack Doherty. Congratulations again to the Smet Jesuit Spartans on a fine 2024 season and second place finish in the state of Missouri. Now for our first place team, let's give a big round of applause for the SLUH Junior Bears as the team is presented with their trophy. Now for the individual medals. First, head coach Bob O'Connell. Assistant coach Robbie Claw. Assistant coach Thomas Champion. Assistant coach Sam Glass. Assistant coach Chris Kinney. Assistant coach Brock Kesterson. Assistant coach Rock Roan. And assistant coach Jay Zaber. And now the players. Number 0, Jack Ray. Number 1, goalkeeper Cole Chambers. Number 29, Henry Neff. Number 2, Andrew Chalmers. Number 3, Caleb Bierker. Number 4, Adam Traxel. Number 5, Nick Hammond. Number 7, Andrew Wolf. Number 9, Max Tivers. Number 10, Henry Sanders. Number 11, Nico Boyacic. Number 13, Landon Ranson. Number 14, Javi Vigil. Number 15, Luke Rule. Number 16, Andrew Angeli. Number 17, Carson Hall. Number 18, Bubba Berry. Number 19, Patty Byrne. Number 20, John Hazemeyer. Number 21, Marco Wilson. Number 22, Brian Harrigan. Number 23, Will Jernigan. Number 25, Dave Kazin. Number 26, William Unger. Number 27, Graham Urban. And number 28, Luke Schumann. Congratulations again to the SLUH Junior Bills on a fine 2024 season and first place finish in the state of Missouri. Ladies and gentlemen, to ensure a smooth transition after this game, please begin making your way towards the exits at this time. SLUH fans can meet with their team outside the entrance gate and across the bridge. The Smet Jesuit fans can meet with their team outside of the northeast exit up the hill. For all other fans, there will also be an exit on the south side of the stadium near the Spelman Campus Center. Once again, we appreciate your help in clearing the stadium. Thank you for attending tonight's match.
Thank you for watching MSHSAA.TV. This broadcast has been brought to you by the Missouri State High School Activities Association, powered by Huddle TV.